NCAA FCS playoffs on ESPN. 40 degrees in Montana in December. Are you kidding me? The North Dakota State fans travel so well, and today they're in Bozeman for a great second-round matchup with the Montana State Bobcats. The Bison have won 9 of the last 12 national championships. The Cats have won 26 straight home games, the longest active streak in all of Division I football. Something's got to give. A week ago in the first round, it was a dominant performance for North Dakota State against Drake. The offense scored 66 points, franchise record for most in a playoff game. The defense also forced 5 turnovers, including a scoop and score late on the way to a 66-3 rout over the Bulldogs. Looking at the FCS bracket, the winner of our game between Montana State and North Dakota State takes on the winner of South Dakota and Sacramento State. And the Coyotes have a 17-0 lead in the first half of that one right now. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Bozeman. The two-time All-American Charles Arbuckle and Noah Reed with you. Before the bracket was revealed, had this been a quarterfinal or even a semifinal game, you wouldn't have batted an eye. It's the second round. Two teams that are so used to winning, Buck, that losing in the second round, not acceptable to them.
Physical, dominant, and they both understand how to play this game, Noah. And I think that's the real key. They look in the mirror, they see each other. I know we're going to have a really good game today.
It's not conventional for a great offense to be a two-quarterback system, but Tommy Mellott and Sean Chambers have this offense rolling.
Both of these guys are dual-threat guys. They both can make plays. Chambers has not played as much lately, but I expect to see a lot more of him. Mellott is a guy that can really go fast. They are dual-threat guys that make a lot of plays offensively. They didn't play as well against Montana, and they know they have to play better against North Dakota State. You can see the numbers. Usually when you have two quarterbacks, you say you don't have one. They love both of these guys at Montana State.
Well, that means that there's a couple guys in this North Dakota State defense in Logan Kopp and Jake Cava who are crucial in stopping the run game.
When you have quarterbacks that can run, that gives you an extra edge. You have to have your defensive line, whether it's Cava and Kopp, really playing a key role because they're going to have to make sure those run lanes are not open and wide for this North Dakota State or this Montana State running game.
It's a great day in Bozeman, Montana. December, where it's 35 degrees, cloudy, will be a little bit windy, but we're hoping, fingers crossed, that precipitation holds off until the end of this one. Second round FCS playoffs in front of us, sold out Bobcat Stadium. And here we go with a boot through the back of the end zone. It is Montana State who is on offense first.
They pack them in here. I said about 17,000, but we probably see 21 if we're lucky, right?
Well, QB1 is Tommy Mellott. He's a local kid, Butte, Montana, who his first career start ever came 2 years ago in an FCS playoff game. All he did was lead them to the national championship game that year, and he has been the guy here in Bozeman since.
Yeah, they want to see him make some plays early and often, and I think they have to get started. They didn't do that against Montana a few weeks ago.
This is the #1 scoring offense in the nation. Montana State more than 40 points a game, and this is how they do it. Running the football. Tommy Mellott finds a seam, and he gets tripped up at the 45. A gain of 20 on the opening play.
So much attention was paid to the running back. You got to pay attention to him, and it's almost a spy, which teams don't like to do. But watch this convergence on the running back right there. Everybody goes in, and then Mellott pulls it out, and he's able to come out the backside. Scott Trey Humphrey has played really well as a young player, and there's a lot of attention paid to him.
An offense that runs for more than 293 yards a game, second most in all of FCS football. They don't pass it a ton, but they don't need to, and they've got this ground attack. Screen pass here, it's Ty McCullough, and he lunges forward across midfield. It's a gain of 6.
He almost lost the ball, Noah. He caught it, but he was running with it in his hip pocket, and fortunately for him, he was able to hold on to it. You said it best. They don't throw a whole lot, but they have to be efficient when they throw the football today.
Yeah, Brent Vegan said, I just want our wide receivers to make the most of their opportunities. They're not going to get a chance for 40 times a game our quarterbacks to drop back and throw. Take advantage of when you get the ball. fake the handoff. Malott keeps it. Spins away from one, but he got decked by Dylan Hendricks.
Didn't talk about Hendricks in the open, but the defensive end has to be key on either side to keep contained against this running team.
He makes a living in the backfield, Buck. That's his 9th tackle for loss this season.
Yeah, he is all over the field. From a family of construction workers, you know, if construction workers know how to work with their hands and they work hard, dirty work.
Blue-collar family. First third down of the day for the Bobcats. Malott has plenty of time. Now he's flushed out to the right, being chased by Hendricks. Can't get to the marker. He gets shoved out of bounds. Eli Mostart pushes him out a couple yards shy. It's 4th down.
It's great pursuit by Mostart. He is a guy that makes a lot of plays. Spin, you see him spinning there, but watch how he replaces his buddy Hendricks. Great job by defensive interior alignment of saying, okay, my guy's inside, I go outside, and I make sure I don't let this guy get outside of me.
Only 13 times this year has Montana State gone for it on 4th down. They're going to go for it here on 4th and 2. And nobody in the backfield with Malott, or rather Chambers. He keeps it, dives forward, he's at the 44, and that's enough to move the chains.
They go with a bigger guy in Chambers, who also has 33 rushing touchdowns on the year. And then sometimes they'll keep him in and let him get going as well. Didn't have as many plays a few weeks ago against Montana, and they want to get his touches as well.
He's a lower his shoulder, run over you kind of guy. Doesn't care who's in front of him.
He don't think about it. He just be about it. He's going to run hard if he has to.
Stays in there on 1st down. Chambers escapes from Odarsic. Now throws on the run, lofting it to Scott Trey Humphrey, who's clipped down inside the 20.
Scott Trey Humphrey only has 1 catch on the season. That's his 2nd one, and that one for a big play, 63-yard touchdown. You can't miss him and then allow Chambers to get outside the box to throw downfield in a cover 2 situation. Great job by Chambers of keeping his head up and throwing the ball down the field.
Who are we to say they don't throw the ball? Chambers back on the ground. Can't get the edge. That is great pursuit on the tackle.
You can see when he tried to get outside, he couldn't run. There's something bothering him in his lower half. They won't talk about it, but you could tell right there. That's just Chambers is usually able to get outside and run as effectively.
You and I noticed in pre-games too, when he was throwing, he wasn't moving a lot. It was a lot of stationary, and when he was walking, there was a little bit of limp to Sean Chambers.
He's going to gut it out. This time of year, everybody's banged up and hurt. But he came in and gave you a little bit of spark. Let's see what they can do with this offense. Now, if you're North Dakota State, you have to challenge your bend but don't break. You can't break right here.
Malott's back in there, sheds 1 tackler, goes straight up the gut, and he's down to the 14. It brings up a 3rd down.
We saw this last week. A lot of missed tackles early in the game by North Dakota State, and we're seeing it again today. Luke Works had a chance to have a tackle in the backfield. You get a -2-yard gain as opposed to a 4-yard gain. You have to make those plays against a running team.
Pass for only 176 yards a game, but that running offense of nearly 300 a game, 2nd most in the nation.
This offensive line up front does a really nice job of blocking.
3rd and 6 for Malott, and he is spun down behind the line of scrimmage. Jake Cava, who we talked about in the open, important stopping the run, makes a tackle in the backfield.
Really nice job by 54 here. They're going to move around so you don't have a target to hit. You're going to see on the outside Jake Cava come down low and underneath and knife in there and make a play. He is just always around the football.
It's a 33-yard attempt here for Casey Kautzman, who's hit from as long as 44 this season. And he missed it wide right. Not a lot of happy Bobcat fans here in Bozeman. Bend but don't break is the mantra for NDSU's defense. Matt Entz and Brent Vegan, 2 guys that know each other extremely well. These 2 teams have a lot of history together, 2 of the winningest programs in all of FCS football, meeting in the 2nd round here in Bozeman. And after NDSU's defense forced a missed field goal, Cam Miller trots out for the first time today, the most efficient quarterback in the nation, completing 75% of his passes.
Man, he was so good last week as well. Had a rough start, a fumble early on, but he came back 66 unanswered points in this offense, 90% completion percentage.
He fumbled on the very first play of the game last week, but then was about flawless after that. This is Rajon Nelson. He can't even get back to the line of scrimmage. A swarming defense for Montana State.
You'll see this defense fly to the football. They didn't play well against Montana, and they'll tell you that. But they felt like this is a team that they have to play well against early on.
Last week's fumble was the first time all year North Dakota State did not score a touchdown or a field goal in their opening drive. They are so good at starting games.
Tyler Roll, the offensive coordinator, came in before the game talking to us, says, hey, we just got to find ways to win games. I don't care how it is. We just have to find ways to win games.
Miller on a patient run straight up the middle. He's sandwiched down after a gain of 2.
The other thing about this defense, too, they'll bring their corners. John Johnson, the cornerback, sticking his nose in there. I was watching him warm up before the game. He was working on a lot of things in the air, but he's not afraid to get there. They've got young defensive backs that will play tough against this team.
North Dakota State top 3 in the nation and converting on 3rd down, but they've got 8 yards to get. Montana State's defense has a chance to make this 3 and out.
Look for the big weapon in Zach Mathis down here against John Johnson, the bottom of your screen.
Miller's looking left instead. Flushed out of the pocket. He's still up, but he goes down. Montana State's defense flexing its muscles on the opening drive. Daniel Louis-Lakepa with the sack.
Well, they get after you right away. Askelson also in the mix as well early on, but then his buddies come and converge on him late. That's the one thing you have with this team. When you're 3rd and 8, that's not where they want to be. North Dakota State, not any team really, but in particular, they want to be in 3rd and short, and that was perfect for this Montana State team.
There is a flag thrown. The return from the 40. And it's a great return at that. Taco Dowler to the far sideline, and he's inside the 40. We will check in on the flag that was at the line of scrimmage, but for now, it's a fantastic return from Taco Dowler.
It was a shifting by the punt team, so they're hoping that it was offsides against Montana State. Came out of the huddle, moved quickly.
Illegal shift, kicking team number 47. 5-yard penalty be added to the end of the run. 1st down.
Great day here in Bozeman. Football's great as well early. Okay, Montana State fans, close your eyes. Block your ears out. Do whatever you got to do, because we're going to show you what happened a couple of years ago. National championship game. North Dakota State ran all over Montana State to win the national title. It was their 9th in 11 years. It was a rout early. Montana State didn't score until late in the game on a field goal, and then they got a touchdown late, but 38-10, North Dakota State over Montana State in the title game. And that was the 3rd of 3 straight years, Buck, that NDSU has knocked Montana State out of the playoffs.
Yeah, it makes it tough when you know you're going to have to go through them. And whether it's you're the 6th seed, 2nd seed, 1st seed, whatever seed you are, you know these guys are going to be around and playing a role, in particular with South Dakota State as well.
Well, after a penalty and a great return on the punt, Montana State starts at the +31. Tommy Malott keeps it on the read, can't get to the edge, and he's dragged down. Nick Kubitz.
Heck of a play by Nick Kubitz. You've got to keep your containment, and look, everybody inside. Nick Kubitz says, no, you got me last time, not this time. Great tackle in pursuit.
I mean, this does feel like what the game comes down to. Can this NDSU defense make plays in the backfield against the run game of Montana State?
It really is. And can you keep North Dakota State in 3rd and long and off schedule when they're on offense?
A loss of 4 on the opening play of the drive. Malott this time with a power run straight up the middle, and he gets upended down to the 29.
And Malott was injured earlier in the year, so he missed about 3 games. When you run your quarterbacks like they do, that's going to happen. But the motion outside allows him to find that hole because the linebackers have to move over and respect that going to the field side.
I did Montana State's game at Sac State earlier this year. That was Malott's first game back, and Brent Vigen told us going into that game, we have to get away from treating Tommy Malott like a running back, but it's just so hard because he's really, really good at running the football.
He's so fast. Now you have both of them in the game, Chambers and Malott in that backfield.
Dowler in motion ahead of a 3rd and long. Chambers ripped down by Dylan Hendricks. That guy has made a couple big plays in the backfield early today.
You try to use Malott as the decoy 4 right there, and then, man, Dylan Hendricks, he just said, I know you're keeping the ball. That was a great job by him of just staying there and trusting that that was going to be a Chambers keep.
Coach Petrino, the defensive coordinator, told us that he was a little banged up early in the season, but the last few weeks he's been at 100%, and he's taken this defense to a different level. Yeah,
they say he is really starting to play well and getting healthy at the right time for this defense.
Casey Kautzman out there to attempt another field goal, this one from 50, his longest 44 on the season, and he pushed it wide right again. The kicking game has been a struggle this year for Brent Vigen and company. 0 for 2 on field goals on the first 2 drives, and we're still scoreless in Bozeman. The NCAA FCS championship coverage continues next weekend with the quarterfinals across the ESPN networks. For more information, visit ncaa.com, the home for all 90 NCAA championships. This is the other side of the bracket from us. No surprises so far in the second round. Villanova advances. Albany destroys Richmond 41-13. And the top-seeded South Dakota State Jackrabbits up 24-0 at halftime on Mercer.
Yeah, but I think everybody here is locked into this one.
How can you not be? By far the most compelling second-round matchup we've got this weekend in front of a sold-out Bobcat stadium. This is Cole Payton. He's the second of the 2 quarterbacks, and he got pummeled on his first snap of the day.
Like Blake Stillwell came in and brought the hammer.
Stillwell getting the start today. No Drew Pallador, who's out, meaning Blake Stillwell jumps into that free safety spot, and a guy that they've gotten a lot of production out of even as the backup free safety.
32 tackles, 2 interceptions, not afraid to stick his nose in there. Willie McGarza talked a lot about that secondary, which he coaches as well as the DC.
Miller spits it out. It's caught by Eli Green. He picks up maybe 2 yards, but it's still 3rd down coming up for the Bison.
The thing you have to do against this Bison offense is not let them have yards after catch. Remember, we saw that last week where they were having so many explosive plays. You got to secure the catch or secure the tackle the first time. You can't let them beat you there.
Their opening drive was a 3-and-out. They need 6 yards here, or else it's back-to-back 3-and-outs to start for North Dakota State. Miller. He's able to bounce away from one, but running out of room near the sideline, and he's dropped at the line of scrimmage. This Montana State defense has been suffocating early.
Man, great job by this defense on a pin and pull you know is coming. Look, all of those Bobcat defenders, there's 4 or 5 of them in position. And Grebe, outstanding job. He got held and still got through number 10. This is going to be a game of guys just who is going to make plays. Who can make plays in this? Because that was a short side of the field. North Dakota State likes running there, and you could see 4 or 5 defenders in position.
Taco Dowler takes it at the 25. Had a great return last time. Got another one here. He gets about 12 yards out to the 37 to set up the Montana State drive.
Montana State, to me, is already behind in the special teams game, although Dowler has had 2 really nice returns. You can't miss 2 field goals against a North Dakota State ball club. The injury now on the field.
That's Aiden Parks, who's down for Montana State and having trouble putting any sort of weight on that right foot. There's Brent Vegan. He is in year number 3 with the Montana State Bobcats. Back-to-back 12-win seasons to start his career here in Bozeman each of the first 2 years. 21-3 all-time in the Big Sky, and they've done a lot of winning since he's shown up.
Yeah, I mean, you know, when you understand what it's like being a North Dakota State assistant coach, going to Wyoming, and now coming here as a head coach, you understand what winning looks like. And he was able to come in here and really help these guys understand that. And they know when they get to this time of the year, you got to find ways to beat teams like North Dakota State.
Montana State has moved the football really well today, but it's ended in 2 missed field goals. We're still scoreless with about 3 to go in the first quarter rather. Malott slings it on the run over the middle. It's completed across midfield. That's Jacob Tremble's first catch of the day.
Sam Young stays back there and makes sure he doesn't get more yardage. But Tremble is a real good player, and they're able to do it with trips out there, and it forces you to keep guys outside and keep Young in the middle of the field. Game with touchdown-saving tackle, in my opinion.
Still a big play for the Bobcats on the opening play of the drive to the true freshman Tremble. Humphrey in motion. He gets it on the end around. He's got space on the sideline, angles towards a first down, and he gets pushed out, but he does move the chains.
What they're already starting to do is force North Dakota State into more 1 high instead of 2 high, which they like to be, because when you run the football, you have 7 guys in the box. You almost need that other defensive guy to come down from up top.
First and 10. Malott holds on to it on the run, delivers a pass. Ty McCullough. No signal. Touchdown, Montana State.
Really nice job of moving the pocket one way and coming back the other way with the mobile quarterback and getting this North Dakota State defense off kilter. You have single high. You see Sam Young going to the middle, and now no safety help, and you're able to throw in that little sweet spot for a quarterback to get a touchdown.
Tommy touchdown adds 1 more to his resume. This one to Ty McCullough for 34 yards. And a splash drive of 1 minute and 11 seconds to go 63 yards.
As good as this is, it should be 13-0 for Montana State. North Dakota State is still in a great position, and they know it on the road. When you have opportunities, you've got to capitalize. They have to get going on offense now.
Enthusiasm and emotion from Brent Vegan, a guy that you don't see a lot of that from typically.
Well, I asked him, I said, well, you guys ready? How was practice last week? He said, man, we practiced well. Or a few weeks ago when they played Montana, we just didn't perform right out the gate. And he felt more and more comfortable about today. Even though it's the big bad Bison coming to town, you still feel like you're at home. You got a winning streak here. It's hard to win in this game, in this arena and stadium. And if you're North Dakota State, you just weather the storm.
Right.
Because you know they're going to give you their best shot, right? I don't think they're worried. They never do get off kilter. You don't want to get too far behind, but you're in a really good position right now.
So 34 yards from Malott to McCullough has Montana State up 7-0. And it's a touchback rather, for North Dakota State. It is not easy to come to Bozeman and win football games as an opponent. 26 straight games Montana State has won here at home. Longest active winning streak in all of Division I football. They haven't lost here in Bobcat Stadium since October 12th of 2019.
That's incredible. You think about how long it's been since they've lost here. But I think that's the one thing, if you're North Dakota State, you throw all that out the window and you know what you want to get to. You have to go through them, and you have to make it happen today.
North Dakota State has not picked up a first down yet today. Back-to-back 3-and-outs to start. Miller slings it to the sideline, but that's well out of the reach of Braylon Henderson.
You know, and we talk to them quite often the last 2 weeks, and they talk about their wide receiver room. I expect to see guys get involved, whether it's Zach Mathis, Eli Green, Rajah Nelson. Nelson on the carry early, but wasn't able to go anywhere, and they use him a lot in those situations. I'll just say this Montana State defense is locked in right now. You're going to have to get them off their schedule.
Tyler Roll, the offensive coordinator, said he thinks this could be a game they pass it a little bit more because they think they have an advantage in their wide receiver room against Montana State's DBs. Play action. Miller stepping up in the pocket. Nowhere to go. He's twisted down behind the line.
And in that particular play, you have a two-man route. You're going to see all the pressure that comes at the quarterback. They're going to bring it late, but there's only two receivers in the route, and he's nowhere to go. So when he tries to scramble, he has to hurry up and make a decision. You see a two-man route, and then there's nowhere to go. There's great coverage and great job. So that's a coverage sack almost in a sense because he had time, but then when he tried to pull the ball down and run, great pursuit and effort by this Montana State defense.
38th sack this season for Montana State, second most in all of FCS football. It's a great third down North Dakota State team, but this is a different story on 3rd and 12. Miller zips it over the middle, completes it to Green. First down today, sheds a tackle, has the sideline, and finally pushed down at the 44. Huge play for the Bison when they needed it.
All I have on my board for him is playmaker, because that's every time I see Green, he is able to do this. Get in there, catch the ball, and just make plays. He's able to run a nice over route, and Miller finds him a strike in between the heart of that defense, and he's able to pick up some yardage. That will quiet the crowd a little bit.
Tyler Roll told us he's twitchy, he's elusive, and when he gets in open space, look out because he'll make you miss. Miller holds on to it this time, and he's crushed by Rylan Ort.
Yeah, really nice tackle by Rylan Ort. And what I like so far about this Montana State defense is as soon as they see quarterback run, they're knifing in there. Miller's going to have to make sure he gets them off balance, and we haven't really seen their run game do what it was able to do last week.
End of one here in Bozeman, and it's 7-0 Cats over Bison. What a day here in Bozeman. Great football weather. Bring out the food. Tailgating was great before. The football's been as great too. Welcome back to the NCAA FCS playoffs on ESPN. Man, how awesome is Bozeman, Montana? It's my first time here. I love this place.
It's first time as well, and it is outstanding.
7-0 Montana State. They got a 34-yard touchdown pass from Tommy Mellott to Ty McCullough last drive. Bison have started moving it for the first time this drive. Their first down in their first 3 possessions. It's a handoff. Barika Penu lowers the shoulder, runs over a guy down to the 40. He was really good last week against Drake.
He took it right out of my head. 2 touchdowns, very effective, and they said what they loved about his game last week, stick his foot in the ground and go, is what they wanted to see more of, and they got it last week.
Well, he brings such a different dimension to them because he's elusive, he's side to side, he can make you miss, he's speedy, and in a Bison offense that's typically power A-gap run up the middle, that's a welcomed element.
It is, and it shows you that ability to get outside. Now, again, that Montana State defense, 2 defenders there to meet him in the hole.
3rd and 6. Miller has a clean pocket, pumps once, running out of time, throws as he gets hit, completes it to Henderson. That's down to the 35, about a yard shy of the marker, and there is a flag on the play too.
Grebe was there first, and then Iden, was coming late to the party to get Miller down.
Holding. Offense number 74. 10-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
Top of the screen, you'll see it. And I thought it would be a hole. You see 74 there. Greby's like, and that happened before. That wasn't the first time. It was the last series where he felt the same way. Now, the problem is you get yourself in harm's way when you are in 3rd and long. And that's the part where your receivers have to make plays for you now, and your line has to hold up.
North Dakota State is 0 for 2 on 3rd down today, and they've been a lot of 3rd and longs just like this. They need 16 yards after the penalty. Can Miller make something happen on 3rd and 16? Fires over the top of Jake Lippy. Incomplete.
That's a miss on Miller's part. Lippy was there, had him, and all you have to do is deliver the ball to him, and you may have a first down. Cam Miller knows it. Great route by the receiver, Lippy. He's going to just come in on like a nice little slant or dig, outside dig, and just throw the ball, give it to him. Just hand it to him almost, and that wasn't a good throw by Cam Miller on that play.
So a 3rd drive that stalls out for North Dakota State. Caden Steindorf in the punt unit on with Taco Dowler inside his own 10. It's a good punt, takes a Bison hop down inside the 10, rolls across the 5, and North Dakota State is able to flip field position as that rolls out to 3. Montana State's up a touchdown, but they're backed up near their own end zone after this. That North Dakota State offense gathered around right now trying to figure out some answers. They have not had much success against this Montana State defense today, led by Brent Vigen.
They have not found a way to stay ahead of the chains, and that's the one thing for them they have to do in order to be effective. Now, this North Dakota State defense has been great at turning the ball over. If you're Montana State, you protected the ball as well. You cannot afford a giveaway here, and this is where this defense locks you down.
Montana State takes over at their own 4. The Bison able to flip field position here. Tommy Mellott alone in the backfield before the first play of the drive. He holds on to it, gives his team a little bit of breathing room as he spins away from a tackler down to the 7.
Logan Kopp was coming in hard in that A gap, and Tommy just came right behind where he had vacated. But there was so much pursuit and good effort by the defense. He wasn't able to pick up as much yardage as you would have thought.
You're right. These are the situations where this North Dakota State defense is really good. Keeping teams backed up. They don't give them a lot of space against their own end zone. Second and 7. Mellott holds on to it, curls the corner, has the edge. He got planted to the 15, and a late flag comes in too.
It's a good block by Ryan Lonergan, but it may be holding on the receiver on the outside.
If it is, that would negate a first down.
Generally, when that flag comes in right there, it looks like it was holding on one of the receivers on the outside.
Holding. Defense number 2. 10 yards be added to the end of the run. Automatic first down.
Well, how about that? Holding on the defense instead. So a first down and add to it.
Yeah.
Wow. I think this, they said defense number 2.
Yeah, I think
two was the wide receiver. So I think he just said defense instead of offense.
Yeah.
We might get a correction here.
Clevan Thomas. He said offense. Or I said defense, number 2.
Yep.
I think that was a mistake on his
Correction.
part.
Correction. Holding. Offense number 2.
Yeah.
Half the distance to the goal. Remains second down.
NDSU did not travel a number 2 this week, so it would have been hard to be holding against number 2 on the defense. We get that corrected. Backs up the Bobcats a little bit.
You could see it from up here. I wasn't sure the number, but I knew it was a receiver on the outside, which wasted a really nice block by the tight end, Ryan Lonergan.
And wasted what was a first down run from Tommy Mellott. Instead, stays second down from the 7. Mellott keeps it. Stutters, cuts to the outside, spins away from a tackler, and great pursuit from Jake Cava again.
Jake Cava played that so well, Noah. I mean, He just did everything he was supposed to do. Watch 54. Eye and then spy, then get out there and just say, okay. He doesn't end up, he makes the tackle eventually, but he does so much on that one to allow Sam Young and all the defense to come. Those are the things they teach you fundamentally, and it's hard to just do from the whiteboard to the paper to the field. That was excellent right there.
Flip out quarterbacks. Chambers in there now on a 3rd and 9. Chambers to throw on the slant, nearly picked off. Sam Young got his hands on it, and then a flag well after the play ended flies in.
Aiden Garrigan was a receiver. He turned around and asked for a penalty flag, and I think he got it. The ball was behind him, and I think that's the issue that the defenders are saying. And they may take a look at this. Is it a catchable ball?
Still waiting on the call.
This is what they didn't do well last week.
There is no foul for defensive pass interference as the ball was tipped.
Great call.
They did.
The ball gets tipped, and then it takes
And
away the
downfield. Offense, number 75.
Nice job by Sam
That penalty
Young
is
with
declined.
playing and being in
Fourth
position
down.
to knock that ball or tip that ball, which made them not have the penalty flag.
He nearly had his 3rd interception in 3 weeks. Sam Young has had picks in back-to-back weeks. Got his hands on it there. Forces a 4th down, and the punt unit has to come on for the Cats.
Well, I told you, this is the area where they really ramp it up from a standpoint of turning the ball over and then go and score with the football.
Here's the 6'9" punter, Brendan Hall. From the back of his own end zone, and a great boot, but starts curling out of bounds. And North Dakota State is going to have starting field position all the way across the 40. See if the offense can do anything with it when we return. Live. It's V Week at ESPN, where we partner with the V Foundation to highlight the urgent need for cancer research. This is game-changing research that helps save lives. You can join the fight against cancer by visiting v.org/donate. 100% of your donation goes directly to cancer research. So Matt Entz and the NDSU offense take over at the +39 after a short punt from Brendan Hall. Down 7-0 early 2nd quarter, and finally a chance for the offense to start doing something.
Yeah, finally got some good field position. Let's see what they can do with it.
Give the ball off. This is Rajah Nelson, the wide receiver who they love to get involved in the run game, and he's all the way down to the 15. Give him 24 yards on the first play.
Great job of showing one thing and then coming with something else. And Rajah Nelson with that great speed, they like to get him in that place. Blake Stillwell out of position, zero. Watch zero get pulled over, and that's right where you go. And the opening up at the line of scrimmage.
Tyler Roll, the offensive coordinator, said you have to almost treat Rajah Nelson like a running back when you're a defensive coordinator, and it really waters down what a defense can do against him.
You have to respect his speed out of the backfield.
First red zone trip today for the Bison. Cole Payton spinning off a tackler, and then he got drilled at the 10 for 5 yards.
And the physicality of this defense, man, and in both of these teams, you can just tell it's not one of those games where you come out and you feel like, oh, I didn't play. You're going to know you played this game. Cole Payton is a very physical guy, but he took a couple of shots right there.
He's the sophomore quarterback, the 2nd of the 2 QBs that NDSU will play. Ran for a career-high 104 yards last week in the opening round win against Drake, but it's Cam Miller who's back out there now on a 2nd down. One of the best red zone offenses in the nation, converting on 93% of their attempts. Fake the handoff. Miller holds on to it. He got wrapped up by the ankles and dragged down by Nolan Askelson.
Great job by Askelson. One of those guys that has 73 tackles on the year. Look at him just find a way. He gets low there, knows blockers could be coming, and then just lurches at Cam Miller. Great linebacker play on both of these teams.
Wearing the number 41 is a big deal in this Montana State program. They were the 41st state inducted into the Union, and a Montana native gets selected every year to wear number 41. That's Nolan Askelson this year.
Coaches say he's Montana tough.
Yep.
Just brings it, controls the middle of that defense.
3rd and 6. Miller looking left, fires, incomplete. He was looking for Zach Mathis, and then a really, really late flag comes in.
Askelson really he's out. He took a shot on the field, and then you also had John Johnson on the backside. Let's hope both of those guys are okay.
Defense, number 4.
They're going to call pass interference on John Johnson, but Askelson came over late to deliver a blow.
Yeah, I think maybe a tad early got there. Yeah. And he's the one that's down on the ground right now for the Bobcats.
Well, he may have taken some of that shot from Askelson as well.
Good to see John Johnson up and jogging off the field on his own power. He is the best one-on-one corner Montana State's got.
Yeah. With the 4-2-5 defense, what they do have is the ability to bring in McCade O'Reilly also as one of those defensive linebackers who's played really well this year also.
Yeah, he's technically a second-string guy, but he's played a lot of snaps this year because of injuries to guys like Daniel Luli-Lakepa. So pass interference makes this a 1st and goal. The Bison have 3 plays to get 6 yards. Miller holds on to it, gets a block from his tight end, and then he's dragged down by Brody Grebe inside the 5.
Grebe is really good in both the pass and the run game. I mean, I've been really impressed with how he is just, if he gets after you for a sack, he can do that. But his ability to also 12 tackles for loss coming into this game, a lot of what he does is in the run game.
He's really dialed in this year, too. He's taken his game to a different level in his first couple of years here in Bozeman.
Buck Buchanan Award finalist, just a guy that makes plays.
Second and goal. Miller, end zone, caught, touchdown Bison, Zach Mathis.
I'm not shocked by who is scoring, and it's a receiver, Zach Mathis, because he's one of the guys, along with a bunch of other captains on this team, after they lost to South Dakota State, said we have to get things on the right path. Cam Miller coming off the field like he took a shot, but this is a great throw where only your receiver can get it. Gets both feet down. That's 6.
Team leading 6th touchdown this season for Zach Mathis. And we're a Griffin Crosa extra point away from being tied at 7 here in the 2nd quarter.
Good answer by North Dakota State, having a short field and then coming and scoring a touchdown there. That's what they needed at this point in the game.
And it just sneaks inside that right upright for Griffin Crosa.
Well, when you have a big, tall receiver that you can get the ball to right there, nice touchdown, tied up ball game.
The winner of our game here in Bozeman gets the winner of South Dakota or Sacramento State, which is happening right now. South Dakota jumped all over them. It was 17-0, but a couple touchdowns by Sac State, including one from Marcus Fulcher, has made it a game again. 24-14 is the lead right now for South Dakota, and obviously a big one to keep an eye on with the winner of our game and the winner of that game meeting in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, it's starting to shape up, right? South Dakota showing what they can do. Sacramento State trying to hold on, and we know what we have here. 7-7, 2nd quarter.
two of the top 3 scoring offenses in the nation, but you and I both said coming into this game we thought it'd be very defensive minded, and it has been so far. Marquis Johnson on the return, and he crawls out just shy of the 30 to start for the Cats. Funny how that works though, right? Two great scoring offenses, but also amazing defenses on the other side.
This time of year, you got to have a great defense, and your defense has to sustain you through these kind of games, and you have to travel a good defense, which North Dakota State has.
Tommy Mellott today has been fantastic. Has not thrown an incompletion, has a touchdown pass, has also ran for 40 yards. Drive starts at the 28 this time as Montana State's looking to respond after a North Dakota State touchdown. Scott Trey Humphrey gets the carry, and he gets stood up.
Looked like Sam Young was right there to meet him in the hole.
How good has Sam Young been this year for the Bison?
Well, I mean, he had to wait his turn, and Coach Petrino said he was helping me install the defense, and I knew he could play this thing. And he's shown up Johnny on the spot every single week.
Says the kind of guy that rolls up his sleeves, comes to work every day, was not overhyped, was not over-recruited, but he's been great for our defense. One more time for Scott Trey Humphrey. Gets a little bit more of a push down to the 35. It's 3rd and 3 upcoming for the Bobcats.
They said they had to make him go back about a yard or a half because he was full throttle every time. And I watched him before the game warming up. He does. He has one speed. And he said versus Utah State, had 114 yards rushing. He understands how to hit the hole.
And Taylor Housewright, the offensive coordinator, said, I'm not trying to compare the two's talents, but he said it was like Adrian Peterson because AP had to do the same thing at Oklahoma his freshman year where they had to move him back because he was running so fast.
Yeah, he would get to the hole so fast that instead of making him learn patience, just let him do what he does, but work around it.
Mellott facing heat, just heaves it up. Oh, that's a pass interference on what could have been a broken play and a 4th down. Cole Wisniewski did not have his head turned around. It's going to be a 1st down for Montana State.
Wisniewski has been so good the last few weeks, but Lonergan is there and going to the ball. And I don't know how Mellott got that off.
That's a great point.
I don't know how. I mean, he's going back. He's showing the guys on the other side. He said, look, I'm leaning back, throwing the thing. He was dealing. Engineering major looks like he's a lean guy. I don't know how he got the football off.
NDSU's trying to say it was tipped first and shouldn't be a pass interference.
There are 2 fouls on the play, 1 on each team. Ineligible downfield offense, number 72. Pass interference, defense, number 31. Those penalties are offset. Replay, 3rd down.
Yeah, Connor
big
Moore.
break for NDSU.
Yeah, that was a huge break. Connor Moore, the left tackle. But the pressure coming at him, and he's able to get the ball off right there. And you can see even late Moore. So that's pass interference clearly, but Connor Moore was too far down the field, the left tackle.
So we'll redo it again here for Tommy Mellott and this Montana State offense. 3rd and 3. Nobody in the backfield. Fakes the run, lofts it downfield on the sideline. Incomplete, no flag. Jaden Price had the coverage, and he's been phenomenal this year in coverage.
Cleveland Thomas Jr. was looking for a pass interference penalty. Transfer out of Kentucky. But you're right, Jaden Price has played phenomenal defense in that backside.
Almost made that catch on his back. Cleveland Thomas.
Did. The reason why they didn't call it is he didn't impede him enough, even though he didn't look back for the football.
So Jaden Price made the play on defense. Now he's back to return the punt, and a booming punt for Brendan Hall that bounces all the way down to the 6. That's how you flip the field. North Dakota State's offense is coming back on the field next with their chance to take their first lead of the day. Bobcat Stadium in Bozeman, Montana, where it is nearly impossible for opponents to come in here and win games. 26 straight home wins inside Bobcat Stadium for Montana State, the longest active winning streak in all of Division I football. They know how to have fun here in Bozeman.
They do.
Sold out, packed crowd, nearly 20,000. Taking in a phenomenal second-round matchup between Montana State and North Dakota State. Bison have not led today. They got a touchdown on their last drive to tie the game up, and they start at their own 7, and a nice run to get some breathing room, a pickup of 8 on the opening play for Tamarick Williams.
The interesting thing also, too, is that Cam Miller only has 1 rush yard. He's a key contributor to this rushing game as well.
Both teams have passed for more yards today than they've run for, Buck, and these are 2 of the top 3 rushing offenses in the nation.
It really surprises you, but you know the strength of both teams are their defenses, and their defensive fronts in particular.
Battle of the trenches. That's what both coaching staff told us this week. Who could win the line of scrimmage? Peyton throws, has Mathis, who goes down to a seat to make the catch.
That Greeby right in his face and still able to get it out to his 6'6 receiver, 6'7 receiver, Mathis. The ability by Peyton to get away from harm's way and still complete that pass.
Only the 27th pass attempt this year for Cole Peyton. When he's in there, Buck, he's in there to run the football. That's a great job with Greeby running down on him to make that play.
And he was still able to get the ball off.
Yeah. Play is blown dead.
Ball start. Offense number 73. 5-yard penalty remains. First down.
Well, just like at the Fargo Dome, they are accustomed to their fans doing it. Now, these Bobcat fans are going to get a little loud in that close in of the field.
Backs up the Bison 5 yards, 1st and 15. Cole Peyton in there again for North Dakota State. They have flipped out the quarterbacks each of the last 3 plays. Handed off, and here goes Rajah Nelson. Gives a stiff arm to the defender, Blake Stillwell, and a huge run for Rajah Nelson.
Really nice job of getting them outflanked, and look at that block right there by Jalen Sundell. And then Rajah Nelson says, hey man, you want to come, you want to get some of this? Blake Stillwell said, no, that's all you got, I got more. I'm going to interpret what they're saying.
Yeah, of course that's what they're saying.
For TV.
Second run today for Nelson, the wide receiver, of more than 20 yards.
Well, you have Cole Peyton in there. It's a great time to do that.
Miller's back out there, spins away from a tackler, and he's wrapped up at the ankles, but not until a first down. McCade O'Reilly with the stop, but it moves the chains.
Nolan Askelson is out of the game and probably won't return from what it looked like on that play before, on that last drive. That makes a difference to your defense.
The leading tackler for Brent Vigen's defense this year, Nolan Askelson, who averages about 8 tackles a game. Haven't seen him since the end of last drive when he was shaken up on a play. The toss. Williams has a seam, bursts right through it, open space down the sideline, touchdown North Dakota State.
Well, when you dial it up and you know it's coming, sooner or later they're able to get through. And this was a nice job by this front. Pin and pull at its finest. All the offensive linemen collecting, and Tamarick Williams accepting 6. Look at this right here. All those offensive linemen, you got guys locked up. Only one man that can make that. McCade O'Reilly, he picks the wrong hole. Tamarick Williams takes the right hole, and he's home for 6.
A 93-yard drive for North Dakota State that takes almost no time off the clock. That offense was efficient on the 44-yard touchdown run for Tamarick Williams, his 4th in as many weeks.
Cole Payton with that pass, and then the huge run by Rajah Nelson also played a big role in opening up that offense and allowing them to find some holes and gaps in this defense for Montana State.
How's 26 yards per carry as an average? That'll get the job done, right?
Yeah, it'll make you rethink. Well, I mean, you know this Montana State running crew is about 7.3 yards per carry, and they've struggled to run the football today.
5 guys on Montana State, to your point, average 8 yards a carry or more. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
It's crazy. And then when your quarterback, you throw him in the mix, even though he has sacks that account for him or count against him, against both of them, they still average 7.3 yards per carry in the run game.
First North Dakota State lead today. They've scored 14 unanswered touchdowns on back-to-back drives, and this is Marquis Johnson on the return for Montana State, and he's up near the 30.
Well, you've got to find an answer if you're Montana State, because you have 4 minutes and 2 seconds. You come away, you need points, and your kicking team has not. Your kicking game hasn't been as effective, or it would be 14-13 here. Field goal would be nice, but a touchdown for them would be outstanding, especially since North Dakota State gets the ball to start the second half.
It's a great point. This could be 14-13. Montana State missed field goals on each of its first 2 drives today. But 4:02 to go before halftime. Montana State football starting at their own 29. Play action. Malott airs it out down the middle to Ty McCullough. Sheds one tackler, and he's down to the 40. 31 yards on the opening play of the drive from Malott to McCullough.
Great play fake, and McCullough with the guy that's a really yard after catch, fearless, will make plays, really physical for his size. Nice job there of getting an open field and trying to create some more yardage.
Taylor Housewright, the offensive coordinator, said he's always wanting to crack somebody. He goes, I have to laugh because he's 165 pounds, but he is fearless.
Yeah, he said he will just try to run over anybody with his size.
Again down the middle, and it's caught by Taco Dowler, who slides down inside the 20.
Their offense wasn't passing the football effectively a couple of weeks ago, but they are now. And this is what they can do. If you're going to attack North Dakota State, it better be the middle of the field. A really nice job by Taco Dowler of catching it and going down before he gets hit by those converging safeties in that 2-deep look.
It's funny, Buck, we made so much about Montana State's run game. They run for 293 yards a game, but they've been moving the football almost exclusively through the air today.
When they're effective and efficient, their run game sets up everything for their pass game.
Malott out, Chambers in at quarterback. And he runs with it, follows a block in front of him, jumps out of the way of a tackler, squeezes through the defense, and he's down to the 8.
Didn't look like he had any problems running right there.
One ankle problem.
The missed tackles come into effect. You see 4, 5, 6 guys touch him before he goes down. The one thing that this defensive staff said, we got to tackle well against Montana State. We cannot have missed tackles like they did last week against Drake.
First and goal, Montana State looking to respond to the NDSU touchdown. Chambers again, this time he's stacked up, led by Cole Wisniewski, but there was a bunch of white jerseys around to make the stop.
Wisniewski was Johnny on the spot. He came up and knew, I have to take this guy on. He's a little bit bigger, 6'3", 221. Needed a nice job of bringing down the Wyoming transfer, who was a captain at Wyoming and also a captain here.
You almost never see that. A guy who was a captain at 2 separate Division I schools, but that's what Sean Chambers has been as Tommy Malott comes in to replace him.
It's a 4-by-1, 4 receivers on 1 down low.
Second and goal. Malott rolling to the 4 wide receivers side, sets his feet, floats it back in the end zone. It's too tall for Taco Dowler.
Yeah, he had him, just couldn't quite get to him, and the pressure was coming after him where he couldn't set his feet and throw that ball. Been impressed with Malott even in warm-ups, how he's able to move and scramble and get the ball to where he wants to.
He can turn broken plays into home run plays.
Yeah, he can. and his speed. You got to respect that. And I think this North Dakota State team understands that.
No third down conversions today for Montana State. Looking for one here on 3rd and goal. Malott sprints up the middle. Touchdown, Bobcats.
Justice Perkins had a huge block on the interior from the center position. He and Ibedion with nice blocks. Look at 68 right there. Boom. Pressure point, 65. Boom. Whenever you see big plays, the big men, you got to give them some love. These 68, 65, leaning on them, and then you got a guy up front down the field also with a nice block. Really, really good job on that drive by Montana State of answering. Lane Summer with that last block. And you got a guy that can run as effectively as Malott. You put bodies on bodies, he's going to score. They needed to answer that.
Yeah. 1 passing touchdown, 1 rushing touchdown for Tommy Touchdown, and he's tied the game at 14 apiece with 1:05 before halftime.
I didn't expect anything but that.
Not at all.
I mean, 2 really nice throws down the field, and then letting him take over with his legs. This is what we expected. I mean, I think you and I talked all week like, woo, we got a great one going, guys. We got a great one. Just tune in.
I don't know that I've been more excited for a game this year.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that this is a 2nd-round game is crazy. This could have been a quarterfinal. I think Montana State's probably better than a 6 seed. I think North Dakota State very well could have been a top 8 seed. I mean, this is a great 2nd-round game.
On my plane late last night coming in here, I saw the Bison fans, and it was great because you knew the energy that was going to be here today.
We are 65 seconds away from halftime in this tie game, and coming up, we've got a really cool special on the coach, Lee Corso, and the evolution of the headgear pick every week on College Game Day. And then, of course, we'll break down the first half with highlights and stats.
I just hope someone loves me as much as Herbie loves Corso, Coach Corso. And I'm saying that with all sincerity because I appreciate what Coach Corso has done for football and College Game Day, and the way Herbie treats them is just is special.
This North Dakota State offense can strike quickly, and they're going to try to do that. 1:05 before halftime, tie game. They've got a chance to take the lead in the playoffs on the road. Miller serving, clean pocket, launches downfield, looking for Green. Oh, he went up and got it. Eli Green. Whoa.
Flag down back by the offensive line, but Eli Green, you put that on your highlight film, please.
74 of the offense. 10-yard penalty remains. First down.
Gray Zabel, but Eli Green climbing the ladder. You see top of your screen, that's the hold that they called there, and a face mask that he got away with. But this catch, that catch was phenomenal.
2nd holding penalty on Gray Zabel today, and that one eliminates what might have been the play of the day so far. Wow.
We saw Eli Green. I told you, all I have on my board this week is playmaker.
Yeah.
Because anytime he touches it, we're talking about how well he played.
1st and 20 after the holding penalty, and the Bison are in no hurry with the clock winding down, nearly 30 seconds to play in the first half. Miller flushed out to the right. Somebody's holding on to his jersey, gets rid of it in time, but it's incomplete.
Grebe was right there again. He just stays in the backfield and couldn't quite bring him down. Now, this offensive line is really good in the run game, but sometimes in pass protection it's a lot tougher. And when you're now 2nd and going to Missoula, you got to be ready to play. I mean, they got a long way. They got a long way to go. Put it like that.
Big game in Missoula tonight, too.
Yeah, it is. It's a great time of year.
2nd and 20. They'll go to the ground instead. And TK Marshall is out to the 25, got all the penalty yardage back, but it's still a 3rd and 10 coming up, and Montana State is going to use their first time out of the half.
This North Dakota State team knows right here they need a first down. They don't want to give the ball back. We've seen some explosive plays by Montana State in the past game, and you got to respect that portion of it. They've been able to return and flip the field with their return game, especially in the punt game. So about what we expected. Yeah, I don't have one like that.
No? Okay.
No. My bucket is a little bit different. And now I don't see myself buying one of those, but it works for him. You know, it's funny, I was thinking about Eli Green with Playmaker. The first time I met Michael Irvin, I was in high school. He was at the University of Miami, and he had a big medallion on that said Playmaker. This has made me think.
You're advocating for that to be put on Eli Green's chest.
He might need that.
20 seconds before halftime. 3rd and 10 for North Dakota State. The way that Montana State's offense has been able to strike today, if they can get the ball back, they might still have enough time. Miller sprays it over the middle, and he threw it behind Green. It's incomplete.
And the other thing, incomplete pass stops the clock. It gives them some of that time. They've only lost 4 seconds if you're Montana State. So
16 seconds and 2 timeouts for Montana State.
And their return game has been lethal.
Yeah.
Taco Dowler, excuse me. Another Montana native at Billings West High School.
The Montana Gatorade Player of the Year, his senior year of high school at West High School in Billings. He's back to return the punt. And before the punt, we get a false start.
All the Bison are saying it was against Montana State.
False start. Number 47. 5-yard
That's the
penalty.
second time we've seen that on this punt team.
It's Luke Wertz that's called for the false start. Another 5 yards back.
Some uncharacteristic penalties for this North Dakota State ball club.
Short line drive punt, takes a bounce. Dowler fields it, gets a couple yards, and they've got 8 seconds to go at their own 40. Probably enough time for 2 plays.
Be interesting to see what they dial up. Kind of what we expected in this first half. Maybe not all the passing, but whatever you have to do in order to win, you will do. Both of these coaching staffs talked about that.
And they feel great about their quarterback's ability to win games through the air. They just don't need to do it typically.
Yeah, they've been so accustomed to being ahead that they generally just run the ball.
Eight seconds before halftime, Montana State likely has time for 2 plays. Malott picks up about 9, maybe 10 yards, and that's got him right at midfield with 2 seconds to go, and they take a timeout.
Now I would think they would attack and try to go Hail Mary, or we used to call jet or rocket, get the ball down the field and up in the air. And, you know, North Dakota State's going to guard against that.
Montana State doesn't have that guy like NDSU has, Zach Mathis, 6'7", throw the ball up. I mean, most Montana State's wide receivers, 5'11", 5'11", 6'1". They don't have that jump ball kind of guy.
Yeah, it would be your tight end or one of your tight ends that are 6'4", 6'5", but you need somebody that can get down the field as well quickly.
They added a second to the clock, not that that really does much on a final play. But there's 3 seconds left with a happy Santa Claus here in December. Now, last week we saw Santa was an NDSU fan. Now we're seeing this week Santa's a Montana State fan. What's up with that?
He's switching allegiances. Whoever gives him the best cookies and milk, he's going to change.
There you go. Ball at their own 49, need 51 yards. Final play of the first half. NDSU sends 5. Malott escapes out of the pocket to the right. heaves it downfield. Wisniewski has the interception.
It's a 6 on the year. He'll take that interception as a stat stuffer.
Nobody knows when they look at the stat sheet. They just see 6 interceptions, right?
That's true.
What an awesome first half here in Bozeman. 14-14 with a trip to the FCS quarterfinals on the line for 2 of the best teams in the country.
When LC puts on the headgear every Saturday morning, that is the moment when the day of football can start.
Could have never have dreamt that it would have become where we are today, where fans every week, that's what they wait for, to see which headgear he's going to put on.
I like Ohio State's speed and power, but I question their place kicker and their punter.
The headgear tradition started in 1996 at Ohio State. Herb Street was fairly new on the show, and Kirk's wife Allison had been an Ohio State cheerleader.
He thought I might have some kind of in to try to get Brutus his headgear.
They had to do some very high-level, tense negotiations.
I'm telling you, it took 3 or 4 different back and forths until finally they green-lighted Brutus.
I'll tell you one thing. Buckeyes!
Let's just examine the Brutus head. It's a head representing a nut, a 2-tone nut.
I like the Buckeyes!
So it's ridiculous looking. You can't help but laugh.
Hey, 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 hey!
And when he sensed that that was an entertaining moment that resonated with fans across the sport, he embraced it, and it's become a beloved tradition.
Colorado in a big upset!
I remember him as a young kid watching College Game Day, and Lee Corso was on there and putting on the headgear. He is College Game Day.
I feel like I've been watching Lee Corso do that since, I was in high school. The different antics he's used and mascots he's used has been pretty incredible.
Fire wolf costume, a purple cow!
To this day, I still watch and anticipate to see what he's going to do.
Go Navy, beat Army.
Seeing him fire off the guns is pretty funny.
My favorite one, we're at Texas, and McConaughey starts wrestling the LSU Tiger head off of LC. There was a little trickle of blood.
Katy Perry was incredible. Like, she damn near broke my man's nose, taking the mascot head off of him.
I think that the best one might be the outtakes.
How can you pick against SMU?
Throwing out some words that might needed to be edited.
My favorite memories definitely include live animals.
We got a live duck. Who's on the set?
He's not afraid of gamecocks. He's not afraid of alligators. He's not afraid of dogs of any kind.
That dog is beautiful! That dog is ugly! Give me this thing here!
I think the best part is when Coach does the okey-doke, where he grabs one head, gets ready to put it on, and then he chucks it to the side and grabs the other one.
I'm going with sweet home Alabama.
Anytime I'm watching and you don't know, what he's going to pick up, that's all pretty exciting.
Penn State!
Give him that head. Does that mean you're going to go against your first love, Brutus?
Coach Corso is a maestro of the crowd. He can take them on a ride like not many people in the history of television can.
Corso with the duck.
He's always got something ready for the people, and to see him come out as Ben Franklin was just absolutely incredible.
I founded Penn. This is my school.
My best moment is when he picked Texas to win the national championship.
Tonight, they shocked the entire universe.
And all the other guys up there were totally against him.
I'm going with Texas Longhorns. Hook up, Texas!
And then we won. And I've praised Coach for that ever since.
There's a time with Bill Murray, we're at Death Valley at Florida State, and he comes up, Chief Osceola, and he's dancing. And Bill Murray sees that, and he picked Clemson, and he picks him up.
Good takedown.
WWE style. It's chaos everywhere.
Somebody that tried to copy that would be like, it would be silly. There's only one person who can do that, Lee Corso.
I think he's been a great ambassador for college football and has brought some great perspective, but also brought laughs and fun to a game that we have to remember is still supposed to be fun and supposed to be a game.
What he's provided to so many households, what he's provided to so many of us as coaches, he put a lot of fun in the game. I just can't thank him enough.
For Lee Corso to put on that headgear 400 times, it never gets old.
Roll Tide!
It's sincere, it's authentic, it's genuine, it embraces the fans, it embraces the tradition of what makes this sport unlike any other, and what makes Lee Corso a college football broadcaster, an icon that's unlike any other who's ever been involved with this sport.
And God bless the United States of America!
The fact that I've got a chance to sit next to you all these years and watch you do your thing and just learn from you, it just taught me so much about this industry, watching you perform and the way you did it.
There he is. The Kirk Herbstreit Show.
We love you so much. You're a piece of gold that we cherish every single week.
The beautiful backdrop that is Bozeman, Montana, in a 14-all game between Montana State and North Dakota State. A great second-round matchup between the Bison and the Cats. Looking across the rest of the bracket, number 7 Furman has advanced to the quarterfinals. Montana and Delaware doesn't play until 9 Eastern tonight. South Dakota with a 2-touchdown lead over Sacramento State in the fourth quarter. So winner of our game takes on the winner of that game between USD and Sac State, and it's looking like right now it'll be USD. All number 1 South Dakota State up 41-0 on Mercer in the fourth quarter. If they hold on to that, they take on number 8 Villanova, who won 45-28 over Youngstown. Albany dominated Richmond today 41-13, and then number 4 in Idaho and Southern Illinois, 10 Eastern on ESPN2 tonight. Buck and I will break down the first half stats and highlights when we return after this. Just moments away from the start of the second half here in Bozeman, Montana, and we are deadlocked. 14 apiece between North Dakota State and Montana State in a great second-round FCS playoff matchup. Hello, everyone. Welcome back inside the booth. Charles Arbuckle and Noah Reed with you. We had really high expectations for this game. I mean, really high. And somehow this game has lived up to them and then some.
Yeah, it has. I think both teams, like we talked about, the physicality, the toughness, just the grit and grind that they know they have to get to that next level. It's played true to form.
Early in this game, it was dominated by the defenses. We were scoreless until really late in the first quarter, but Montana State was able to strike with a Ty McCullough touchdown to begin.
Yeah, it was one of those things where you knew somebody was going to strike first, and right away they were able. Ty McCullough gets open in that secondary, able to find a way to get into the end zone. And then the thing that you don't see are the 2 missed field goals, which then allows Zach Mathis to come back and have a nice catch from Cam Miller. And those points are hard to come by, but then you see an explosive run here, and getting into the end zone in the run game is so effective for North Dakota State.
44-yard run for Tamarick Williams put North Dakota State up 14-7, but Montana State answered right back with a Tommy Mellott touchdown.
They got punched in the mouth and came right back to make things happen, and that's what you have to do in a game like this. A lot more passing yards than what we thought, but you can see NDSU in that second half really started to take off in the run game, and that long touchdown run added to those yardage.
145 passing yards for Montana State, the second best rushing offense in the nation. Great second half ahead of us here in Bozeman, Montana. Second round of the FCS playoffs. North Dakota State and Montana State with the winner going to the quarterfinals. Welcome back to the NCAA FCS second round coverage on ESPN. From beautiful Bozeman, Montana, we've got a great one headed to the third quarter in the second round. The most dominant FCS program ever. North Dakota State taking on a team that just flat out doesn't lose at home, Montana State. Awesome first half. and can't wait for this second half, Buck.
Yeah, I think both of these coaching staffs know you don't have to do a whole lot of Newt Rockney in the locker room. You just got to get your guys out on the field and get them ready to play.
And both coaches told us this week, like, of course we're going to make adjustments at halftime based on the first half, but all in all, we're going to stick to what we do well, because Montana State was saying NDSU knows us really well. We know them really well. The NDSU coaches said the same exact thing. I mean, it's just two teams that know each other really well and who can execute their game plan.
You know, and I was talking to Coach Vegan about that. When you play your brother or your cousin or people you're close to and you know, you want to knock the crap out of them. But then afterwards, it's all nothing but a lot of professionalism and understanding, a sportsmanlike understanding between these two programs.
Montana State got the football first, so they kick it away to begin the second half, and off and running here in half number 2 from Bobcat Stadium in Bozeman. It's a touchback for North Dakota State. This North Dakota State offense struggled really early in the game, Buck. 3 punts on their first 3 drives, but Matt Ence's team really settled in with back-to-back touchdown drives at the end of the first half.
They looked like they found what they were looking for as far as the run game, and then it opened up some things for them passing. Hadn't gone for a lot of yards, but they've been very particular in when they want to throw and make sure they make things happen in that situation.
Yeah, just a 3 of 7 first half for Cam Miller, but the offense ran for 132 yards on the grounds. A toss, and this is a great run on the opening play. Tamarick Williams has a 44-yard touchdown already, and on the first play of the third quarter, he goes 75 yards and a score.
When your safety has to come up and make a play, and I saw this on film, he has to be sure of where he's going. And Blake Stillwell, who's coming in for this game, watch 0. Just not there. You got to come aggressively, and what they did on the line of scrimmage is did a nice job of creating a hole for Williams again. Huge run to start the half. Everybody blocked up. Really nice job by Hunter Brosio, who's a first-team all Missouri Valley Football Conference. But what you have to do is make sure you have guys in the run fit. And the first and second level did not, and that third level miss and home run by Tamarick Williams.
The game of his career so far, Tamarick Williams, the senior. 3 carries, 127 yards, and touchdowns of 75 yards and 44 yards.
0 has to come down hard because he is your guy. And when he's just that hesitation, Tamarick Williams knows that. Greeby is going to be chasing, but there's no way he's going to catch up with Williams, the SMU transfer. They did such a nice job in the pit of locking everyone up. And just one little hole, he gets through it, and he's gone. And again, I'll give a lot of credit to Hunter Brosio.
Hunter Brosio, by the way, you mentioned it, first-team All-Missouri Valley Football Conference fullback and long snapper. I mean, that's a guy that they use in multiple different ways, and he is the best in the conference at what he does.
Skilled guys, I love to give them credit, but when you have the lunch pail kind of guys that make plays like Hunter Brosio and that offensive line, and we could hear the North Dakota State coaches yelling because they knew they had something dialed up to come out, backed up, and start fast.
Tyler Roll, the offensive coordinator, is sitting just to our right, and he was alive and electric after that touchdown run. And Marquis Johnson can't even get out to the 15. Great coverage from North Dakota State on the kickoff return.
Well, he had to hesitate because he wasn't sure if he was in or out. And then when he saw he was out, he was live, he had to run. And that allowed this North Dakota State team to come flying down the field to make the tackle.
Feels like a punch in the gut. Montana State led almost the entire first half, but North Dakota State comes out a 75-yard touchdown run from Tamarick Williams on the first play of the third quarter. How do the Cats respond? Malott gives it off. This is Scott Trey Humphrey. He's dragged down at the 24. He gets 10 yards on the first play of the drive.
Malott is a 4.0 engineering major, second team all Big Sky. And this young man, Scott Trey Humphrey, out of Seattle, Washington, is just really starting to play well.
A true freshman And Taylor Housewright, the offensive coordinator, said he's just a crazy man. He's still trying to figure out life. And when he does get it figured out a little bit and get more comfortable, he's going to be phenomenal for us. First down. Malott right up the middle. He's got an open seam, and Tommy Malott is gone. 66 yards and an extra point away from tying it back up.
Man, what I love about this game is one team does something, the other one says, okay, I'm going to match you. And Malott with that explosive speed. Interior blocking again, right there. You get one block you need, and if you miss any tackles, he's gone to the house. Bobcat running away from Bison. Touchdown.
How do they respond was the question. Pretty well, Buck.
We expected this to happen. When one team does something, the other one is going to say, okay, I'm going to match you. I have to.
Extra point straight down the middle from Casey Kautzman. Tommy Malott the answer. We're only a minute into the third quarter. A 75-yard touchdown run from Williams, a 66-yard touchdown run from Malott. Call these guys Mr. Big Plays. Tamarick Williams on the left, a 75-yard touchdown run on the first play of the third quarter. Tommy Malott answers with a 66-yard touchdown run of his own on Montana's second play of the third quarter. You having fun yet?
I'm having a lot of fun. We barely got a minute into the quarter. A little bit over a minute, and these guys are going back and forth, back and forth.
We all have that look on our face right now that Brent Vigen has. What are we watching? Electric offenses to start the third quarter. In a game that was scoreless up until the very end of the first quarter. This was all defense early, but the offenses, man, have they settled in. All right, what kind of one-play, 75-yard play do the Bison draw up here?
I would think the Bobcats would have an answer, but the way this has gone, Willie Matt Garza and Tyler Roll have a history with each other, and that's the good thing. The defensive coordinator for Montana State and the offensive coordinator for North Dakota State. The run game has worked effectively for them. I'd go back to it again and see if they can stop it.
As a team today, North Dakota State has ran for more than 200 yards. We're early third quarter. Go back to the ground again. TK Marshall gets nowhere. He's drilled to the ground after a pickup of just one. It's Rylan Ort who leads the charge on the tackle for the Bobcats.
Blake Schmidt was the first guy there out of San Diego, California. I'm sure he's used to a lot of snow and weather like this. But he was Johnny on the spot, and he had to be because, again, you get this team rolling to the second and third level, it makes it tough on you.
Might as well be San Diego. It's almost 40 degrees here in Bozeman today in December. Rajon Nelson jumps away from one. He's had a couple big runs today, but this time not so much.
Yeah, the defensive line hasn't shown themselves. Look at the front four right there. You miss one tackle, Ben Seymour, but then you have other guys coming up to make plays. In particular, to clean it up, Sebastian Valdez. This defensive front, there's a 4-2-5 defense. You've got to have pressure on those front guys and have people coming from the back. Rylan Ort, also one of the safeties, coming up to try to make a play as well.
Valdez doesn't get talked about like guys like Grebe and Axelson do, but 2 times in a row, 2 years in a row, first team All Big Sky. Third and long. Miller uncorks it down the sideline, and that's too far for Zach Mathis. It's 4th down.
Yeah, getting in third and long again is not where they wanted to be. And I think that was a really nice job of the chess match that we've seen today of Willie Matt Garza and Tyler Roll. The defensive line just made plays and didn't allow them to get comfortable or have an explosive play over 70 yards like they did on the last drive.
Montana State's defense talked a lot about getting NDSU's offense off the field. That's now the 4th 3-and-out for the Bison's offense today. Great punt. Taco Dowler sprinting all the way back to the 20 and circles around for the return. He has a little bit of an open gap, and he's across the 30 before he gets spun down. Catch your breath. We've got a great one in Bozeman, tied at 21 apiece. Tommy touchdown living up to the name today. The quarterback has been involved in all 3 scores for Montana State.
Been able to make plays all over the field with his arm, but then the running game, short one here, but this long explosive one that we just saw, and now he has the ball back. Tommy Malott has just been playing at another level today.
28 career rushing touchdowns now for the quarterback, 6th most in Montana State history. And look at the difference between him and the rest of the team in terms of total offense. He looks to throw, spits it out on a screen. Caught by Scott Trey Humphrey, the running back, who lowers the shoulder and takes a hit from Sam Young. 6 yards on the first play.
And I like this because you get the ball. It's like a long handoff. You just get it out to a guy that can run the ball effectively in open space, and it gets you a first down and keeps the drive alive.
You know they're going to run it. They're one of the best running offenses in the country. That's just an extension of the run game, but gives them a different look.
And that's his second pass catch today. He's only had one all year. The one that he had was a 63-yard touchdown.
Well, he's getting a lot more playing time today, too, without Julius Davis. The Wisconsin transfer was kind of banged up. Didn't know what his status would be coming into it, but we haven't seen him once today. Before the snap, Montana State has to burn a timeout with 11.5 minutes to go in the third quarter.
First charge timeout of the half. This is a 30-second charge timeout in length.
We'll take the timeout with them. 21 apiece, NDSU and Montana State in the FCS playoffs.
Live.
The NCAA FCS championship coverage continues next week with the quarterfinals across our ESPN networks. For more information, visit ncaa.com, the home for all 90 NCAA championships. With a game like this, you're expecting me to believe there's still 3 more rounds of FCS playoffs? We got the quarters, the semis, and the championship still left?
Look how much we had already in this half. It's hard to manufacture this much excitement.
We had 2 touchdowns in the first minute and 4 seconds of this third quarter. A 75-yard touchdown run for NDSU, a 66-yard touchdown run for Montana State. Malott zips it to the sideline. It's Ty McCullough who tiptoes at the 45 for the catch.
That whole shot right there again. We saw that for a touchdown earlier. And what you do is you just force, see if he got his feet down in time. That first, heel.
Yeah.
Yep, did a nice job of keeping the toes and keeping the heel up, securing the catch.
And we're going to take a look at it, it appears.
The previous play catch is under video review.
They were trying to go fast to work through it. Spent some time before the game talking to the replay officials.
You learn anything fun from them, or what?
Yeah, I mean, I always like talking to them on their anticipation of targeting and some of the other things like this, just how they interpret it. I thought he did a nice job. His heel never came. Did it come down? I didn't see it come down.
No.
Out. He got that foot down and then the other one up. And we've seen this. I've seen it in the past where that heel will go down and they will overturn those calls or those catches. But it's clearly a catch on the field, so you have to have indisputable video evidence to overturn it.
Yeah, that's always important to bring up. Rule on the field is a catch and a first down, so to be able to overturn it has to be clear and obvious.
But see how his heel never came down.
Right.
And the other foot came in. All you need is one in college football. Controlled it all the way through.
Brent Vegan saying, you guys did a great job. That's a great call. He caught it. It's a first down.
That was clearly a catch.
At the video review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. First down.
Nice job.
Confirmed first down on the catch by Ty McCullough.
Yeah, really nice job by Ty McCullough also of just knowing where he was in space. And we've seen the touchdown from that play earlier where he had a huge play. That was a nice one also.
He's the leading receiver this year for Montana State, despite missing 4 games early in the season. He has just been great since he's come back. Fake it to Cleveland Thomas, lofted over to Scott Trey Humphrey, and that was dangerous. Nearly intercepted. Jaden Price was there. He had a pick last week.
Yeah, that was in his area. Just a little overthrown to Humphrey, and Jaden Price almost was the beneficiary, and he was rotating over because they went in motion, and it allowed him to almost be in the position to come up with that interception.
Jaden Price has been all over the field. Started the year as a cornerback, but Jaquise Alexander has played really well this year. He's moved into a starting cornerback spot, and because of that, it's allowed Murphy to move over more to the nickel.
It gives them flexibility in what they want to do in the coverage game.
Malott takes off, squeezes between 2 defenders, can't turn the corner, and Jaquise Alexander is right there to make the tackle at the 40.
I think one of the things with Tommy Malott is you see him on film and you see him in person. There's 2 different things, because he's fast on film, but when you see him live, he's even faster. It's another step. And it doesn't look like he slows down as long as he's healthy, which he has been since he's come back. He's been a difference maker in this offense.
He's been back the last 6 or 7 games after missing 3 games in the early part of the schedule. He is fully healthy, and he's been phenomenal today. Third and 6, zips it down the middle. Taco Dowler reels it in. First down, Cats.
That was a strike. And with people coming in your face, you're going to have pressure coming at him, and he just fires this ball right before it gets to him. Taco Dowler with a huge catch. Taylor Housewright said, I got to get him out of his own head and not on paper. And right now, Tommy is playing and letting the game come to him.
Putting together arguably his best game of the season here in the playoffs. Fakes the handoff, holds on to it himself, and he's dragged down at the 15. Give him 6 more yards on the first down run.
Each time you watch, it's like guys are right there but not in position to tackle him, and boom, he's gone for 6, 7, 8 yard gain.
And when he is as dual threat as he is today, I mean, he has been great both pass and run. He seems almost impossible to stop.
Well, and it's hard too, because you've got a guy like Chambers, but right now Malott is the hot hand.
Second and 3, keep it in the hands of Malott. That's been a wise move all day and all season. He's inside the 10. It's first and goal for Montana State.
Cole Wisniewski had a chance to maybe stop him before that first down and just couldn't get to him. Again, it's much easier to run by somebody when you're running up. And it's just been one of those things now. This big offensive line knows they can start smelling the end zone. North Dakota State has to come up with the, they've been a bend but don't break generally, but they've got to find a way not to let this Montana State team score.
Both Malott and Chambers on the field. Malott's now out as a wide receiver. Chambers in the shotgun. Trick play to Malott. The quarterback throws it. Caught by Thomas to the pylon. Touchdown Montana State.
So hard to defend when you've got 2 really versatile dual threat quarterbacks. And the receivers get excited because they know the ball is going to come my way. Cleveland Thomas was wide open. Chambers sees it, pitches it, and look at number 2 gone, because you got to respect the run game. Touchdown, Montana State. So you have to respect the run game, and it gets everybody in, and that gives you just what you need on the outside to get Tommy Malott, who has been dealing today, to get that in for 6.
2 rushing touchdowns, now 2 passing touchdowns for Tommy Malott. 14 unanswered on the last 2 drives for Montana State, and the Bobcats back in front by a touchdown.
They said they wanted to get both of them on the field at the same time, and what it does is it screws you up defensively. And I know now, if you're North Dakota State, you got to answer, and they've been answering all day.
They've been playing those 2 guys on the field together a lot more recently. When I did their game at Sac State, back in mid-October. That was game 6 or 7 of the season. And this is all Andy Thompson, the Sacramento State coach. He charted it. They were only on the field together 9 plays total all season long together at that point. You're seeing them on the field a whole lot more now.
And it makes the offense flow so much better. That right there is the reason why when you get in the red zone, it's hard for a team to stay compressed when you get them in that box, and then you have speed that goes outside running away from them. And you start to the short side of the field and then use all of the field to your advantage. It's hard for you to cover that.
14 unanswered for Montana State. They take a 28-21 lead. When North Dakota State's needed an answer, though, Buck, Tamarick Williams has been that guy. 3 carries, 127 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
That offensive line just finds somebody to block, and it makes it easy for him. Brandon Westberg on that one. Then you see here Hunter Brosio, the real key person, the pivotal block that springs Williams for 6.
Touchdown runs of 44 yards and 75 yards today. Does 42 yards a carry, is that going to get the job done most days?
I think it will. Even my UCLA math says yes.
He's off the field now to start this drive. Cole Payton holds on to it. Picks up a couple yards. It's 2nd and long, and it's a great job by Danny Louis-Lakepa. Got some penetration to make the stop.
Louis-Lakepa was injured. Now he's back, man. He flies around the football, and they love how he plays. And I think Nolan Askelson as well is back in there. Those two give a real good 1-2 combination punch.
Askelson got hurt near the end of the first quarter. Did not see him at all in the second quarter, but he's back out there now early in the third quarter, number 41 in blue.
False start.
False start. Offense, number 73. 5-yard penalty remains. 2nd down.
This is an offensive line that doesn't ever hurt them usually, but 2 holding penalties today on Gray Zabel and now 2 false starts on Mason Miller.
Uncharacteristic by all those guys. I had to walk through them coming to the back to the locker room, to the press box, and man, those are huge dudes, and they play well, and they usually don't hurt themselves.
Maybe the loudest we've heard Bobcat Stadium today on a 2nd and long. Play clock down to 1. Miller can't get rid of it. He's in trouble, and he's sacked.
Yeah, his hesitation, he probably should have came out the backside quicker, but he thought he could hold on and find somebody to throw the football to. Really good coverage on the back end right here. When he double pumps, to see that open hole right there, I'm thinking in my mind he's going to take it, but when he doesn't, it collapses on him. Easy to see up here, so much harder to do in real time. Now, 3rd and long is not a place where North Dakota State wants to be, but they have converted a few times here.
Miller rips it to the sideline. That's caught by Eli Green, and he is right at the line to gain. It looks like enough for a 1st down, and it is.
Yeah, Eli Green is a guy you want to have on your side when you need a play to be made. And Cam Miller with the time, the protection by the offensive line, and they're going to go in their form of hurry up now. Look at the blocking. Clean, and he's able to get the ball out, a strike. You got one going off Zach Mathis, and then him coming out to the outside.
Quick screen pass, looking for Green, and it's blown up. Lavelle Bryce Jr.
Wow. They were trying to get it on the outside. Cam put that ball up too high, and fortunately for him, it didn't cost a turnover.
Whew.
Yeah, the ball stayed in the air, and he was so excited about the hit. Is this a 2nd round game?
Hard to believe, man.
Wow.
Nothing going on the ground this time for Tamarick Williams. maybe got back to the line of scrimmage, but that's it. And Sebastian Valdez with the stop.
They talked about him setting the edge and making sure on that inside as a defensive tackle, but man, right there, that's a huge play by that young man.
North Dakota State just 2 of 7 on 3rd down today. They did convert one earlier on this drive. It's been 3rd and long all day for the Bison. Miller trying to escape trouble. Can again! Sacked for the 2nd time. This time it's Brody Grebe.
And you have to know, Simeon Woodard went over to Blake Stillwell before the play and told him, get there. And he was one of the first guys there. Watch this play. See Zero coming off the edge. He doesn't get the sack, but he forces Grebe to come over the top. Right before that play, those defensive backs were communicating. He told them, you get there, we have it covered. Wow.
Brody Grebe, the Millstone, Montana native, with his 10th sack of the year, forces a punt, and a great one, too, from Caden Steindorf.
Every time you think a team is going to make a play or not make a play, something happens, man. It has been outstanding.
This 3rd quarter started on the first play of the 3rd quarter with a 75-yard touchdown run for North Dakota State. Bison took a 21-14 lead, and since then, in less than 10 minutes, Buck, this game has completely flipped around.
Well, they've been able to find ways in the pass and the run game the second half, Montana State has, and it has just been hard for this North Dakota State defense to find a way. Usually they make plays right here. Let's see what they can do.
On the end around, this is Marquis Johnson, his first carry in 5 weeks, and he is yanked down behind the line for a loss of a couple.
Cole Wisniewski sniffed it out right away and came storming down the field to make that tackle. Johnson ran into his own man, which allowed 31 to come up with a huge play. A guy that moved from linebacker, moved to safety, from linebacker, and has played really well on the back end.
And had no problem doing it. Jason Petrino, the defensive coordinator, said we had one conversation with him, and he was completely bought in from the start, moving from linebacker to safety. Scott Trey Humphrey tries to make a move in the backfield, and he's ripped down again. Javier Derrick.
Yeah, he gets overlooked on this defensive line.
Yeah, he does.
He got all these guys, Hendricks, Mostart, and Kava, and Derrick says, hey, give me some of my shine. And that was a nice play there.
I actually have exactly that written down. I said not recognized like the rest of the D-line. I mean, it's right on cue, right on spot of what he is. Third and 11 for Malott. Has time, zips it over the middle to Cleveland Thomas. Plucks it out of the air across midfield for a conversion on 3rd and 11.
You couldn't put that ball anywhere better. Wisniewski was covering right in the spot, but Tommy Malott with a nice throw, looking off everything, and that's a situation where the safety has him covered but can't make the play.
Tommy Malott has been phenomenal today, the quarterback for Montana State. Hands it off to Scott Trey Humphrey, drags some defenders with him, gets an additional push from a couple of his offensive linemen. 8 yards on what could have been just 2.
And all, 4 of those 5 offensive linemen, all Big Sky of some form. Honorable mention, first team, second team. They don't get enough credit for how good they are. I know that North Dakota State offensive line is great, but you've got 2 really strong offensive lines today.
The only guy that wasn't in all Big Sky selection was the true freshman Connor Moore, and he's a nominee for the Jerry Rice Award given to the best freshman in the entire FCS.
And if you look at their PFF ratings, all of them are in the top 10. Phenomenal guys up front.
Play action. Malott stepping up in the pocket, uncorks it down the sideline. It's caught. Hunter Providence.
Yeah, running the sail route, he has a clear out on top of him. And Hunter Providence with only his 3rd catch on the year, but it's a penalty flag on play.
Downfield, number 86.
Generally, when this happens, is he's either covered or he should be on the line or off the line. And that's where it happens. You have 2 guys on the line of scrimmage. One of them has to be off.
Illegal touch and offense, number 86. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. This is a loss of down by rule. 3rd down.
So the outside receiver was up and probably needed to be off, and he was on, and that's probably what, from what I saw from the replay and what I saw actually real time, but he was wide open.
Would have been just the 3rd catch all season long for Providence, the true freshman.
Yeah, because usually when you have 2 tight ends, both receivers on either side, if you're in the 12 personnel, they both need to be off.
Third and 7. Malott gets past 1, turns the corner, has the first down. There is a flag thrown in the backfield. For the moment being, it's a 3rd and 7 conversion, but Montana State's walking back like it's against them.
And now this offensive line for Montana State is having some self-inflicted wounds.
Illegal block in the back, 24 offense. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Remains 3rd down.
Lane Sumner, the running back, gets called for a block in the back.
.24 coming on Wodarski. Made it easy because he's so far on the outside.
So a couple times they had this 3rd down conversion, but 2 penalties have pulled it back to a 3rd and 17. Scott Trey Humphrey sheds 1 tackler with a stiff arm, reaches forward. Did he get enough? Looks about a yard shy.
Well, I wouldn't be shocked, even if they were a yard short, that they would not go for this right here. Because you're too far away for a field goal, and you don't want to punt it. And they're definitely going to go fast and line up and go for it here.
4th and about 2. Need the 35 for a first down and keep the drive going. Humphrey. Oh, he was stopped at the 36, but that lunge forward might have gotten it. It did. First down.
Luke Works was there. Couldn't bring him down. He met him in the hole, 47. But Scott Trey Humphrey moving those feet, churning. Both of these teams know it's playoff time, 4th quarter.
4 fingers up in the air. 3 quarters in Bozeman, and this game has been amazing. 28-21, Montana State up 7 going to the 4th quarter. This is a heck of a 2nd round game. Welcome back to the NCAA FCS playoffs on ESPN. Bozeman, Montana, the site of a phenomenal 2nd round game, 28-21. Number 6 Montana State over the team that's won 9 national titles in the last 12 years, North Dakota State. 4 fingers in the air as we head to the 4th, and what an exciting 3 quarters it's been so far.
Man, it's been everything advertised. Both of these teams have done everything we thought they would do in a different way, but it's been phenomenal.
Montana State is the 2nd best rushing offense in the nation, averaging almost 300 yards a game. They've actually done more
After
through the
video
air
review, the runner's knee was short of the line to gain.
Wow.
It was down by contact at the 35.5-yard line. There will be a turnover and down. First down, North Dakota State at the 35.5-yard line.
That is huge. We went to break thinking first down Montana State on a 4th and 2. Went to video review, said the knee was down a half-yard shy, so it's a turnover on downs and North Dakota State football to start the 4th.
And one of the things in that run, Scott Trey Humphrey hesitated just a little bit. He's going to run the football here on the interior, and instead of just running right through, see how he pauses and hesitates?
Yep.
Then the knee must have gone down before he stretched out. See how the pause and the hesitation, knee down? Yep, good call.
That is a big-time play from Luke Wirtz.
And a young player, run through that. Don't stop, don't pause, because there's nobody. It's you and the linebacker there. You've got to run over him and run through him.
Just a true freshman is Scott Trey Humphrey, who's been great in the absence of Julius Davis today, the Wisconsin transfer. But NDSU football, their own 36 down a touchdown, start of the fourth quarter. And Cole Payton is the quarterback that's out there. He gets just 2 yards.
Yeah, Danny Yu right there on the spot. All way. And look at the brace on his arm. You know, Willie Mack Garza said it keeps the defense organized. He's like an extension of me on the field. It's just good when you have guys like that that can make plays.
He's played with that elbow brace on the last couple weeks coming back from injury. Nolan Askelson's played with a knee brace on all year. And Willie Mack Garza, the defensive coordinator, said, you don't hear a peep from those guys. Never complain. They just go out and work. Second and long, there is a flag thrown. Can Cole Payton get the corner? He can, and he gets shoved out of bounds a couple yards shy of the line to gain by Miles Jackson.
And Blake Stillwell, they're fortunate they don't have another penalty flag. He hits Cole Payton way outside. Getting a lot more of our officials than I'm sure both coaching staffs want.
Offsides defense, number 11, in the neutral zone at the snap. The 5-yard penalty be administered from the previous spot. Remains second down.
It's Kenneth Idun who gets called for being in the neutral zone.
Yeah, those are mistakes you can't have. You can't give a team like North Dakota State second and short, especially when you have shown that you can stop their offense at certain points.
Down numbers today for Cam Miller. This Montana State defense has made it very difficult on the senior quarterback. Williams, he's been great today with 2 rushing touchdowns, and he's right at the 45.
Yeah, he'll get a little bit of fussing at because his average has gone down after the last 2 plays he's had.
42.3 yards per carry through his first 3 carries, but yeah, that'll take a hit now.
Cole Payton now in the game at the quarterback position.
The sophomore from Omaha, when he's out there, you know what he's out there to do. Physical, violent runner. Takes off, follows the block from Marshall, tries to bounce away from one. He just got back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it.
Well, really nice job by Nolan Askelson of not letting him really get going. You need your linebackers to come in there and really do a nice job of before he can get his head of steam, because he not only is he a big guy, he can run. He's fast.
Winner advances to the FCS quarterfinals next week. Loser goes home. Neither team used to losing in the second round. These are 2 powerhouses in the FCS. Fake to Marshall in the play action. Miller's got time. Launches sideline, looking for Henderson. There is a flag. A couple fly in on a pass interference. Andrew Powdrell had the coverage downfield on Braylon Henderson.
Powdrell just ran through Henderson and didn't turn around, and that's why the flag was called. He's beat on the play and just runs through the receiver and not allow. And Braylon Henderson with the smart move, slow down and
pass
turn to the ball
defense,
to try to catch
number 1, 15
That's
yards from the previous spot. Automatic
Wiley,
first
Texas.
down.
Great job by him of just trying to go and make a play on the ball. My late uncle went to Wiley College. I haven't seen Wiley, Texas in a while, but Braylon Henderson, Plano East High School in that area, really nice job of going up and making the pass interference call easy for the official.
So pass interference moves NDSU into Montana State territory. Miller cannot get away from him. Rylan Ord, who's coming off an 11-tackle game against Montana a couple weeks ago, has been great again today.
And Rylan Ord, one-on-one in the hole right there, just says, Cole Payton, I'm not letting you get by me. They've done a nice job of neutralizing his run game and forcing them into 2nd and long when they don't pick up anything when he runs the football.
Just 5 yards today on the ground for Cam Miller. The quarterback is the team's leading rusher. Play action to Williams on his back foot, fires, incomplete. That was Carson Williams, the tight end, through his hands, but led him just a little bit too far.
Yeah, they've been trying to get him the football more because he's been playing violently and physical in the run game. Just couldn't come up with it. Cam Miller has to throw off balance, and just enough by John Johnson, I think, also to tip that ball to disrupt it.
The 3rd best team in the nation on 3rd down is just 2 for 8 today. Need 10 yards. Won't get it. Wow. Sacked off the edge by Nolan Askelson. Mr. Montana.
These guys come off the edge. Their linebackers so fast that Cam Miller had no chance to set his feet. Look how quick he gets there. And you have others following, Grebe and the rest. But he comes so clean because they hide him behind those other guys. And that's a huge sack with the guy with the knee brace and hurt earlier in the game. Came back huge in this ball game.
A first-team All-Big Sky guy, Willie Mack Garza, said he put so much time in the spring and summer when nobody was watching, and it's allowed him to have a phenomenal year.
What they've been able to do, Montana State, is neutralize the quarterback run with Payton, and then it forces you to have 3rd and long, which they don't want to be in.
Might be a delay of game here.
Which is not altogether bad.
Delay of game, kick it team. Yeah. 5-yard penalty remains, 4th down.
You know, you look at the whys of the game. Cole Payton is so effective in the run game. It hasn't been that way for him today. And by doing that, he only had his 5 attempts for 10 yards. Usually he has so much more. And that has put them in harm's way. And then you get in a 3rd and long, your team can tee off. And that's what's happening. Now Montana State's trying to call a timeout. I don't know if they got it.
Taco Dowler all the way back to his own 2. He fields it on the punt. Has some space on this sideline. Turns the corner across the 20 and tiptoes out near the 25. 10:36 to play. Montana State up a touchdown and the offense back out on the field next. This game has lived up to everything and then some. 10:36 to go, 4th quarter. Number 6 Montana State up on NDSU 28-21 with a trip to the FCS quarterfinals on the line.
Been knocked out by this team 4 times. 4 times, and you know that. And you have a chance at home. Everything in your way, and North Dakota State knows we have to go through you to get to our next step.
Including 3 straight seasons from 2018 to 2021, and that was in the national title game in the 21 season. Empty backfield for Tommy Malott. He motions Johnson back there. Malott keeps it. Not a whole lot here. Got maybe 2 yards.
With Darsick again coming down low. What did Coach Entz say when we talked to him that was so prophetic?
He told us the biggest 2 things this game came down to. Can we tackle well, and we have to get 1 timely turnover.
Now, they had the turnover before the half, which was insignificant. They need 1 now. And their defense, usually when they get the turnover, it becomes their instant offense.
Forced 5 turnovers last week in the first-round win against Drake, 4 the week before that against Northern Iowa. Humphrey. What a powerful run from the freshman down to the 36 and a 1st down.
And see, when I say you see a mirror of yourself, you see this offense every week. It's a different look and design, but the power run game of this young man, I watched him before the game. He was warming up. I said, man, he's very well put together for a freshman, and I wanted to see how he warmed up. He warmed up like he was an upperclassman.
A true freshman from Seattle, Washington. Taylor Housewright, the offensive coordinator, said he didn't know what a hole was when he got here. He just ran as hard as he could. But what a developing season it's been for him. Gets it one more time. Lowers the shoulder right into the defensive lineman down to the 39 for 3 yards.
Another one of youth. You see if he comes and stays on line where that hole is to the left. May have picked up a few more yards. Nitpicking, but it's just one of those things that as he grows, he's going to learn. Because the hole was to the left. I think he cut back right back into the knife of the teeth of the defense. Really good tackling again, and on that play by North Dakota State. They have to do this to get the ball back for their offense.
Not many teams put together 445 yards of total offense with still half of the fourth quarter to go against North Dakota State's defense. Humphrey, third straight carry, crawls across the 45. He's a yard shy. It brings up a 3rd and 1.
In the last 42 games, they have rushed 64.2% of the time. That means you know it's coming, but can you stop it?
And the answer has been no for just about anybody. I mean, when you're running for almost 300 yards a game, defenses know what you're doing. They just can't stop it.
And this is not like it's an Army or Navy team where they run all the time. These guys will throw the football, but they choose to be in a position where they're going to rush about 65% of the time in ball games.
Nobody's back there with Malott with a yard to go. Good chance he's keeping the football. Malott does. Follows a block, and he got ripped down behind the line of scrimmage. NDSU saying they got the football. Luke Wirtz comes up with it. I think the officials are signaling he was down, but it's a 4th down regardless.
And
is that Tommy that's down too?
I think it is. Yeah, Eli Mostart made the tackle initially, and Tommy looks like he is down.
So you've got Sean Chambers, who is not 100%. He's been walking with a limp. He hasn't played at all in the second half, and now Tommy Malott is down with 7:36 to go in the fourth quarter.
His knee was down before that ball came out.
You just hate to see this, no matter who you are. Tommy Malott, who cannot put any pressure on that right foot, being carried off. The 3-year starting quarterback for Montana State, who has led them to so many big wins.
Yeah, Eli Mostart there first, and then his leg is just exposed the way he's sitting there. Feels so bad for the young man. And Sean Chambers is one of the guys, along with Cleveland Thomas. Your quarterback room gets close. Even though you compete, you never want to see your buddy and the guy you work with every day go down.
We've seen very limited snaps of Sean Chambers, the second quarterback in that 2 QB system, because he's not 100% healthy, but he will be the guy the rest of the way. Fair catch by Jaden Murphy, called for at the 11. Well, no matter who's on the field, Buck, it is go time. 7-point game, 7:21 to go, and the season on the line for North Dakota State and Montana State.
Maybe you don't get a turnover, but you have a huge play by your defense. And Eli Mostart, who's one of those guys that made it, that allows your offense now to get back on. 21 points today, averaged about 38.6. We saw him put up a 66 spot last week.
Down a touchdown on the road in a hostile environment here in Bobcat Stadium. Sold out nearly 20,000. Handoff on the first play of the drive. It's a short run for Rajah Nelson.
And Askelson is there. Askelson is he just keeps showing up. Missed a little bit of time and still came back, making tackles. This game is as advertised.
And then some. Second and 6. Miller's got a lot of time. Now steps up, runs straight forward, has the first down. Askelson takes him down, but not until he crosses the 30 for a first down.
Nice job by Cam Miller that time of not hesitating, and when he saw open space, he was able to take off.
He's been sacked 4 times tonight, which is not very common. This North Dakota State offensive line protects him so well.
They came in, Montana State, with 37 on the year, which is second in FCS. So they're true to form in their sack ratio.
Nelson bounces outside, lowers the shoulder, and splits 2 defenders down to the 37.
That's what you want to see from Humphrey when he gets the ball again in 4th and short. Put your head down and just go. Rajah Nelson, he doesn't play like a receiver. He has that capability of being a running back when he needs to be.
Yeah, he's listed as a wide receiver. They line him up as a wide receiver more times than not, but he also runs the ball multiple times a game. Got a timeout.
Never gave us an indication. I thought it was North Dakota State, but I'm not sure.
Exactly what you want, right?
Yeah.
Coming down to the wire. Might be who has the football last wins the game.
You know, 2 fan bases that really understand the game of football, too.
Right.
I mean, this Montana State team has been in, you know, North Dakota State with all the championships and their history of knocking these guys out.
2 phenomenal fan bases, Montana State and North Dakota State. Tamarick Williams hops past one, and he was a shoestring tackle away from breaking off a big run.
Man, I thought he was gone to the house again, and just enough right there by Olu-Ilakepa.
Say that 5 times fast.
Danny U.
Danny U.
It's what even the coaches would call him. That was a huge Uli-Lekepa.
I practiced that a lot in front of the mirror.
I know you did. But that was a huge play by him, because that would have turned it around. That would have been 7 points or 6 into the PAT.
Back to Williams. Patient run, sheds a tackle, has a first down. And he's in Montana State territory down to the 43 and a pickup of 13.
Just effective at getting everyone inside and then bouncing. But Blake Stillwell this time gets low. Actually, Simeon Woodard was the one on the tackle there.
And it's Ben Seymour who's down on the ground for Montana State. 4:42 to play. North Dakota State is driving in Montana State territory down a touchdown. Win or go home football. 4:42 to play. Second round of the FCS playoffs. Brent Vigen and Montana State up 28-21. Cam Miller and North Dakota State driving at Montana State's 43. Hand off to Williams. He's taken down by Grebe and Askelson at the line of scrimmage.
These guys have just really started now to find a way to get to the running game. There have been a couple of times where Williams has had some open space, but for the most part, they've been able to kind of get in there and make plays.
North Dakota State never loses this early. 9 national titles in the last 12 years. Montana State has surged onto the scene the last few years. 2 programs that do a ton of winning. 4 minutes to go. Play action. Miller has a clean pocket, zips it to the sideline looking for Green. He pulls it in, and John Johnson brings him down, but not until a first down.
Really nice job by Eli Green, staying with the catch and then trying to make some yards afterwards. Askelson is coming late, can't get to Miller. Miller with a nice throw to the other side of the field. And Eli Green fighting to get away from John Johnson. They've been going at it all game long.
And Miller has gone to Green a lot in big play situations today. First down from the 28. Toss to Williams. They do not have much going on the ground right now. Swarming defense for Montana State.
Olu-Ilakepa with the 9th tackle. I practiced that before we got back. Danny Olu-Ilakepa with another huge tackle coming over the top when you have the defensive line making plays there. They've really missed him, and when he's come back, he's made a huge difference for this defense.
It's a 2nd and 10. TK Marshall's got it. His first carry in a long time. Bursts right through. Touchdown Bison. Extra point away from tying it.
So much was paid attention to the right side of the line of scrimmage. And TK Marshall comes out the backside. Look at that whole movement there. And then you think Woodard has a chance, but TK Marshall with the huge touchdown. Look at the blocking up front. Just nice job. Even Rajah Nelson getting the block down the field. Game tied up.
Only his 3rd carry of the day, but TK Marshall, 29 yards out, ties this game up. 28-all with 2:33 to go. Could you want anything more? Tied at 28 apiece between Montana State and North Dakota State. 2:33 to go. 2nd round of the FCS playoffs with a trip to the quarterfinals on the line. And one of the winningest programs ever in the FCS, Buck. 45-4 all time for North Dakota State. They do not lose.
Yeah, one caveat, they've knocked Montana State out of this thing the last 4 times, right? I mean, I know we don't want this to end. The coaches and the players at some point wanted to, but the fans, I'm sure they would stay here and keep cheering. This has been a phenomenal football game.
I don't have a flight till tomorrow. Let's play all night.
Like in the old days when the boxers would just box all day and all night.
Short kick. Is it going to stay in bounds? It does. It's a touchback.
Got 2 heavyweights in the FCS battling today.
Tommy Mellott, the quarterback, went down with a right leg injury on a 4th and 2 that he was short, didn't come up with. This is the first time the offense has been out there since. Sean Chambers plays a ton, right? We talked about the 2-quarterback system, but he's not fully healthy either. Hasn't played much today.
Yeah, they're going to need him to be effective in this area, and they have to get some points because this North Dakota State team is starting to turn the corner now.
It's a handoff. The first carry today for Jared White. He gets 8 yards.
Jared White, I thought we would see more of him today, and now he's getting a chance to make some plays, and that was a nice run by him. Almost in football parlance, it's fresh legs.
Yeah, I thought you might see a lot more with no Julius Davis today, but it has been all Scott Trey Humphrey, the true freshman, that's gotten the workload in the backfield for Montana State. Back to White again, near the 35. That's right at the line to gain, and they're signaling first down.
Yeah, 2 good runs right there, right away. And what it does for you is it allows Chambers to get comfortable and not have to run the ball. Whatever he's dealing with, this gives him a chance to be comfortable and get this offense going.
Chambers looking to throw, steps up. Oh, that was close. Got out of the pocket. You can tell he's not fully 100%, but man, what a run from Sean Chambers. And he stepped out of bounds. All the way back at the 36, but that is still a huge run. 29 yards from not a fully healthy Sean Chambers, who has risen to the occasion.
Well, he starts out and everything collapses and he sees no one on that side of the field. He can't really run effectively right there, but he says, okay, I got it, let me keep going. He steps out of bounds there, but huge play by Chambers. Right there, his foot goes out of bounds. That was a big pickup, that point of the game.
Back to White. Oh my goodness, he got drilled. Eli Mostart leveled him.
Yeah, you got a guy like 53 who's in there grinding, getting in the middle of double team and breaking it and getting the tackle. They say he's the king of spin, but he wasn't spin. That was just violent hands.
This is
and
a 30-second charge
hard.
timeout.
Undersized
Please put
guy,
1-2-7 on
but
the
had
clock,
grown
please.
up playing
1-2-7.
basketball, and you can see his explosiveness on that play.
1:27 to go. 28 all. And again, I know this was early. This was the first 2 drives of the game, Buck, but Montana State's kicker, Casey Kautzman, 0 for 2 on field goals today.
Yeah, that's a key point.
So look at the FCS bracket around us. Winner takes on number 3 South Dakota at South Dakota next week. Number 7 Furman advanced. Montana and Delaware do not kick off until 9 p.m. Eastern tonight in Missoula. So I just don't know how much confidence there might be in the kick game right now. You might be needing to get 6.
Your thought is we've got to score a touchdown if I'm Montana State, especially with the way the kicking game has been today.
Second and 10. Chambers steps up. Can't get out of there, and he's sacked. A loss of 6. Jake Cava with the sack.
Yeah, Jake Cava just pushes back young Connor Moore and able to just collapse the pocket.
Team leading 7th sack this year for Jake Cava, the Moorhead, Minnesota native.
Got away with a hands to the face, but that was a bull rush if I ever saw one.
3rd and long. Chambers into trouble again. He's dropped. Dylan Hendricks, the other defensive end. No sacks all game long for NDSU's defense, but 2 on the last 2 plays.
And Chambers can't get away from it, but Dylan Hendricks that time is just so good beating Kettles. These guys stepped up when they needed them. That defensive front, man, they had gone in. Their D-line had 8 sacks in the last 2 games. They had been quiet this game and 2 in the last drive.
There's not much of a choice here, is there, right? 4th and 16, and if you don't get it, you give NDSU the football at nearly midfield?
Yeah, and I think they're punting.
Yeah,
I can see,
right?
they have to. Because you don't want to give them that short of a field with the way they've been playing.
Yeah.
And their running game getting rolling. And now you got to be concerned if you're Montana State. What is the health of Sean Chambers? Because those last 2 sacks, he didn't look comfortable at stepping up in the pocket or being able to move after that long run.
Jordan Reed is the 3rd string quarterback, redshirt freshman from California, if that comes into play at all for Montana State. But the punt unit is on right now. Matt Entz's team got a touchdown with 2:33 to play to tie this game at 28 apiece. And with the punt unit on, the offense is about to get the football back. Short, high punt from Brendan Hall. Murphy lets it bounce, and it rolls down to the 1. Or 2, I guess. Either way, 98 yards needed for North Dakota State in 35 seconds. Field goal does win it, too.
Great job of getting in position to make the play here. You know, I will go back and say this, and I never want to question what coaches do. But think about what Tommy Malott and all those guys, what they were doing, what they had Humphrey running the ball. They went empty, and when he went to run, he got hurt on that play. He was going to run the football anyway, but you just start thinking, hey, should we have done it there? This is going to be interesting here. You got to get it out. You got to get some space.
Cam Miller does get 2 yards, gets a push from his running back behind him. A little bit of breathing room for the Bison.
I think they'll be content to play some extra football. And now you're down a quarterback if you're Montana State to Sean Chambers, who is not 100% healthy.
No snap is needed. It looks like Cam Miller and North Dakota State will not take it. And a game that deserves overtime is going to get overtime. Brent Vegan in Montana State. Matt Ensign, North Dakota State. Free football with a chance at the FCS quarterfinals coming up. What a game here in Bozeman. Overtime is next. Live. 4 quarters not enough. Overtime is exactly what everyone deserves. 28 apiece between North Dakota State and Montana State, and these are the overtime rules. Each team will get a possession from the opponent's 25-yard line. You can go for the extra point in the first 2 overtimes. If we get to a third, you have to go for 2. It becomes a 2-point conversion starting then in the third overtime. So those are the 2 Montana State quarterbacks. Tommy Mellott, number 4, he's been the starter, he's been the guy. Went down with a right leg injury in the 4th quarter. Sean Chambers, the second quarterback of that 2-quarterback system, came in, had a nice big run, but he's also not fully healthy either.
Yeah, so you're down your main quarterback, and you can see Coach Vigen asking him, are you okay? And of course, as a competitor, you're going to say, yeah. But he's got some limitations. His game is run, and then he can throw. And I said before, 64.2% of the time in the last 42 games, they run the football. So now you're in a quandary because now you have to play against a team who loves to run the football. The thing is, you've got to score points in this overtime, and you got to stop them if you're Montana State defense.
This is North Dakota State's first overtime game since 2017.
Wow.
6 years straight of not playing in overtime, and they're on the road in the second round of the FCS playoffs against number 6 Montana State, where only free football can decide it.
He's had a 26-game home winning streak.
Yeah, Montana State has not lost here since October 12th, 2019. 26 home wins in a row, longest active streak in all of Division I football.
And also the team that they know have knocked them out the last 4 times. They've tried to get to the next level of the FCS championship or win the championship.
Well, you alluded to it. The last 4 years, Montana State has been knocked out 3 straight years by North Dakota State. Second round semifinals, and then the national championship game in 2021. That was Brent Vigen's first year. Then last year, I don't know if it makes it any better at all, but finally a new opponent. It was South Dakota State, who went on to win the national title last year. But either way, heartbreaking last 4 playoff appearances for Montana State.
North Dakota State.
The Dakotas haven't been kind to Montana when it comes to the FCS championship.
See, was the tails. Heads or tails? He called tails. Heads it is. You have won the toss. You get a choice of offense, defense, or the end of the field. He wants to play defense. Montana State will be playing defense. You want to play on this end of the field down here. North Dakota State ball on this end of the field. First down.
Shirts optional in Bozeman. Overtime football.
Only fitting that this game would go into extra time.
Each team gets a possession starting at the opponent's 25. North Dakota State on offense first. First overtime game for them since 2017. First playoff overtime game for the Bison since 2010. First play of overtime. It's a handoff straight up the middle. And Williams runs into a pile of navy blue jerseys just a yard.
And I think the defense says we want to start so we'll actually know what we need. If they can hold North Dakota State to a field goal, the way the kicking game for Montana State has been, you figure they want to try to score a touchdown if they can have a walk-off, because their kicking team has not done very well today.
0 for 2 on field goals is Montana State today. A 33 and a 50-yarder missed. Williams cuts away from one, bounces off a Stillwell, and finally dragged down at the 12. It's a first down for the Bison.
Real strong running by Williams, and one of the keys is making sure that you tackle and wrap up. Stillwell comes up with a nice hit, but doesn't wrap up on that play.
A career-high 152 yards on the ground for Tamarick Williams. The Bison fans that made the trip on the edge of their seats with the offense on the field and a chance to take the lead in overtime. It's Cole Payton, the quarterback, breaks away from one, lowers the shoulder, and plows down to the 5. 8 yards, brings up 2nd and 2.
All that extra work that you do, all that offseason work leads to this. Running through tacklers, and he hasn't run as effectively, but that was a nice run by Cole Payton to get inside the 5-yard line, or right at the 5.
He stays on the field.
Low red zone. They've just been effective anytime they get in the red zone, but the low red zone is almost money for North Dakota State.
Top 3 in the nation and converting on 3rd down. Both quarterbacks are in there. Miller options out. It's Payton with the football. He ducks down to the 3. They don't get the touchdown, but that is at the line to gain, so might be a fresh set of downs from the 3. First down indeed.
Both of these teams have the capability, when quarterbacks are healthy, to have 2 of them in the game at the same time. Sun comes out at this point of the game, shining off of those helmets. That's what college football is all about here.
Winner to the FCS quarterfinals. Loser's season comes to an end much earlier than they're used to. Miller rolls out right, spins, lunges, touchdown! North Dakota State takes the lead.
You have your biggest receiver over here. You also have Tamarick Williams running out late, and it takes the linebacker out of the way. And Cam Miller, who doesn't always get credit for his running ability, gets in for 6. Good blocking again there, Jalen Sundell. But just the ability to move those defenders over, and Tyler Roll dials it up.
Crosa's point after is through. 7-point lead for North Dakota State. Montana State needs a touchdown and an extra point to keep the game going.
Yeah, this is what you kind of expect here. Each time one team has done something, the other team has found a way to answer. 46 FCS playoff win.
Tied with Georgia Southern right now with 45. They can become the all-time winningest FCS program today.
Trying to get there.
Chambers does stay in. We've seen he is not fully healthy, but with no Tommy Malott, it's got to be Sean Chambers. Give to Scott Trey. Humphrey's got space on the sideline. First down, Humphrey. One play, 25 yards. Extra point away from tying it and sending it to double overtime.
Well, that's how you protect your quarterback. You bring in the young fellow who had a little bit of a break, and wow, what a run. This blocking again, man, is incredible, but the running ability of that young man, Trayton Pickering, with a nice block out there, but running the football effectively for 6.
Casey Kautzman has missed 2 field goals today. He needs this extra point to send us to double overtime. Good snap, good hold. Kick is blocked! Heartbreaking Bozeman again! For the 4th time in 5 years, NDSU eliminates Montana State. 14th straight quarterfinal appearance for the winningest team ever in FCS football, and what a fashion to do it.
It's hard to say who blocked it, but it looks like Hunter Pontius was in there, 76. He got his paw.
Yes.
Yes. The big 6'8", 315-pounder gets the paw up, and man. This game will make the same thing that'll make you laugh can make you cry. Going from the joy of scoring a touchdown to
devastating loss for Montana State. And their 26-game home winning streak, that was the longest active in Division I football, has come to an end at the hands of the team that has done it to them over and over and over again.
And it happens to a backup lineman who in there that comes in and makes the play for you. Incredible, incredible game.
This is what the bracket looks like. Two Missouri Valley Football Conference teams will meet in the quarterfinals. North Dakota State is going to get their shot at redemption against South Dakota, who beat them earlier this year. Furman is in. Montana and Delaware play at 9 Eastern tonight. But we have one of the quarterfinals set on our half of the bracket, NDSU and USD next week.
We got everything we wanted out of a football game, and for those guys that won't be moving on to the next level, and this might be their last game, man, they played their hearts out, both teams.
A down year for North Dakota State, they say, huh?
I mean, Askelson, excuse me, and so many of those guys, and the pictures say it all. You said it before, the kicking game had been the thing that has hurt them. You get the 6'8" backup lineman in the game who's a tackle for you, who plays, but comes in and makes a nice play for you.
Celebration on one side. Hunter Pontius, the backup lineman, blocks the field goal, the extra point attempt. And devastation on another side. College football rocks.
Nothing better, man. Nothing better.
And a happy Matt Entz joins us. Coach, take us through that final play. What did you see on the extra point attempt that your guys were able to get a hand on it, block it, and win the game in overtime?
Well, part of it's just the anatomy of Hunter Pontius. First time we used that block all year. The kid's 6'7", has an unbelievable backup lineman for us. We knew he had some reach, and we just said, hey, you know, we'd seen on film that a little bit inaccurate at times, but also just low trajectory out of the kick, and I'll be damned.
Coach, when you look at your team, I know we talked earlier in the week, you were saying you had to make tackles, you had to do those things, but you had to win.
That's right.
And I think when you find a way to win, your guys do it. Tell us a little bit about the nature of that for you and your team.
Well, I mean, it'd have been real easy when all of a sudden we gave up 2 touchdowns in the second half to start thinking, oh, you know, what a great year. You know, hey, maybe next year. But this group of guys they don't have any quit. Our coaches continue to coach every second of the game. I couldn't be more excited about the 64 guys that are with us, but the other 45 or 50 that are back in Fargo waiting to have another week of practice.
Coach, what can you say about the performance of Tamarick Williams? Your running back had a couple massive runs of 44 and 75 yards for a touchdown. I mean, and I just thought he carried your run game today.
He did. They did a great job taking away our quarterback. They played a bunch of man coverage, dropped that safety down to about 8 yards, and just he played over the quarterback. But, you know, the one thing we were able to do was get downhill with some under center run game, and the guys up front got it collected. And T-Mac ran as hard as he had all year. And, man, when he gets going downhill, and he outran everybody on a couple big runs. And really excited for him and excited for a sixth-year guy like that.
Coach, how much time you going to give him to celebrate? Because I know you got to move on to the next one, but this got to be a good win for you.
I tell you what, what's about to happen in this locker room is going to be pretty unique.
Coach, we really appreciate your time. You got redemption, a chance at redemption coming up against South Dakota next week. We wish you the best of luck in the quarterfinals.
Yep, 1-0. Thank you.
Happy North Dakota State fans headed back to Fargo after a win and a blocked extra point in overtime to win it for the Bison.
Well, anytime you have a field goal block that you haven't had all year, but you need it, low trajectory, the ball isn't high, a 6'7", 6'8" guy can get his paw on it. I mean, the same thing that makes you laugh makes you cry in this game, man. I feel so bad for the Montana State guys, but on the other side, you got to feel elation for North Dakota State moving on to the next level.
A football game that we never wanted to end, and for a little bit it did. We got overtime. We got the game we thought we were going to get and then some. I don't know if you could have ever predicted this good of a game, but man, did we get it.
Sun came out at the end of the game, and fans were still here, and fans are shocked at the end of this. But hey, man, this is what football's all about.
35-34 the final. North Dakota State wins it in overtime on a blocked extra point. The Bison will get a chance against South Dakota, who beat them earlier this year. The unseeded Bison, down year they say, win in the first round, win in the second round, on to the quarterfinals to take on South Dakota. Furman waits the winner of Montana and Delaware. A big thank you to our producer, Brett Walensky, our director, Major Howe, and the rest of our phenomenal ESPN crew. For Charles Arbuckle, I'm Noah Reed saying good night from Bozeman. North Dakota State knocks out Montana State 35-34 in overtime.